I thought it fucking was brilliant.
Joker
Scissor
Boy.
brother.
There he is.
Scissor
JV.
brother.
What the
Joker's alive.
fuck?
We're worried that a mutant bear had eaten you.
Yeah.
Scissors.
He is the scourge of Gotham, the nemesis of the Dark Knight. He is Joker Voice. Welcome back to the show, buddy. We were worried. We were actually genuinely concerned. We're like, Batman got him.
Roman was very
Yeah.
worried.
Gotham.
He watched the wrong movie and he had to speed watch this
I
one.
actually put you on a milk carton because I was that concerned.
You would have gotten more results with my picture on the 5th of Jameson.
I was about to say, are you sure milk carton is the thing to go with?
Accepted.
Nah, got to put it on whiskey.
So now we are in modern day. This is Los Angeles, right? Did I say?
I couldn't figure out where
I
exactly
thought this
we
was
were.
back east somewhere.
Yeah, this is Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
it was like a small
LA.
copper mining town.
I think no. That's where we
He's in
ended
a-
up.
he's
Right
in a
now we're
city.
in.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Oh,
I would
he's
say
a
what
big
city
city
he's in.
cop. Okay, you're right.
I'm going to say it's Los Angeles for the sake of argument, just because it makes sense. Because they talk about Arizona, and Arizona is kind of close. And old Tommy Daggett, now not a priest, is up smoking on a roof like a weirdo. The guy tells him
With
he
a
can't
bad
be up
wig.
there. He flashes his badge, and the guy's like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
It is.
And then he
LA.
goes,
He's what?
Yeah,
He's sorry.
okay. "Fuck off." Look,
He's sorry.
Don't you know?
Sorry.
God damn it.
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
If
sorry.
you've never caught it, Roman says sorry like a Canadian.
Hey,
Don't you know?
What's that all about?
You know, I don't think Zax would
Take
agree.
off
with
your
me.
shirt.
Zax would be on
You like
my
that
side
pop?
in this argument.
Zax is offended by me comparing you to them.
Two Canadians like Roman's not a Canadian, eh? No. So now we're in Tommy
He's
Daggett's.
like, no, we don't want Roman.
He's still got priesthood books laying about, and he comes in, and there's this odd fellow perched on the back of a chair, which is very unnatural and defies gravity.
I
But
do.
it's
love
I like this shot right here. This
Oh,
is a
I
He's
really
got
love
good
some
shot.
wicked
Yeah.
core
Look at
strength,
that.
man.
Yeah, this is
It
what
almost looks like he's floating.
Well,
Yeah.
it's very bird-like and
Well,
angels
yeah.
with wings kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
In
it
fact-
actually made me think more of gargoyles.
Ah,
No,
Like,
but it is
Very
bird
nice.
associated.
yes.
So in the apocrypha, like all sorts of animals get associated with various types of angels. Predatory
Yes.
birds, one in particular, you'll see him tasting like he's pecking with his beak and
That's
stuff
not-
like
yeah.
that.
It's not fucking funny, Zax. No,
That's
you're right.
hilarious.
Yeah, they do.
That's
Yeah,
funny. It's hilarious.
that's a good. Yeah. So keep it. So what Matt said, keep an eye out for that of the similarities between the angels and the birds. Yeah, that's actually really good. Matt, I didn't even think about that. The scene with Gabriel coming up in a minute, though.
Right.
That, yeah, I get that. That's a fucking great point.
Even watch when
So-
they fight with their hands. Sometimes you see them clawing.
yeah.
So,
It's so crazy. This movie seems like the actor or the writer director had like a whole bunch of really cool imagery, and like
Yes.
he's making this movie around it. That's why I think it doesn't, like, some parts of it just fail to equate to what he's doing, like, image wise, because it almost seems like it's kind of an afterthought with some of the acting or some of the stuff that goes on between. But he has some really good imagery from the get go. Yeah, such as those shots.
So Tommy comes in. He's like, "Who the fuck are you? Get down,
Yeah.
get down." And I love this though because Simon, played by Eric Stoltz, is like, "This used to be so much easier."
Right.
Now,
talking
what
about
they don't explain very well, though, I don't think what they explain very well is when this all started.
Yeah.
They because a lot of what they talk about, and this is later on in the movie, and we'll get to it, doesn't quite work with what we know and I'm Catholic, so basically in the Catholic theology, there are certain things that don't line up properly. So I'm just kind of curious the way that this goes.
So,
But-
in
Go ahead.
future movies, basically the dispute happened when God came down as Jesus and lifted humanity up.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes a lot. Okay, thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
I wish they had thrown that out there in this movie because that's where my confusion came in.
Well,
So I was talking to Mrs. of
they-
the Empire.
they do talk about it as to why they're having the war in heaven.
They talk about the war, but they don't talk about the timeline. Because if you talk about it in terms of, well, when humans are created, it becomes problematic. But if you move it up to the timeline of Jesus, it makes a lot more sense.
I see where you're going with it, right?
Right.
Basically, until Jesus came down, humans weren't
everything was fine.
Than just monkeys, basically. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. And so Thomas is like, dude, stop. And then he wants to have a conversation with him. We don't, and this is one of the things that this movie doesn't do well, is we don't really know where this conversation goes. He sits down, and Thomas, when he was going through the seminary, wrote this thesis on angels and religious scripture, and it's basically writing a book. And what was it? Simon asks him, "Do you still have faith?" Something along those lines.
He asked him, "Do you still think you're part of God's plan?" And then Thomas says,
"That's complicated."
That's complicated. And then Stoltz is like, "No, really isn't."
No, yeah, no, it's not. And that's pretty much.
Well, he's suffering from cognitive dissonance between the visions he was given and what he was actually taught in the seminary. And again, just so people understand, in like 1600s and Vatican II Council, the church purged all this, like, I wouldn't say weird stuff out of like the Bible. Like if you read the Bible in like the year 1400, there was like angels fighting all over the place. Like there were other gospels in there and all sorts of stuff like that. And
that's cool.
Yeah. So if you
Matt, actually, well that brings up one of when we go back to Thomas on the rooftop, he's talking about one of the strangest gospels, which is not a gospel, it's a scripture. It's kind of semantics, but whatever. Saying there now, even now, there are angels in heaven with savage weapons, something along those lines.
Yeah, and that's another thing. The reason the church purged this stuff, because I mean, one depiction of angels, and especially those extended texts, was a lot of angels were God's hitmen.
Yes,
if you go Sodom and Gomorrah, for example, that's one instance they kept in there.
Yep, and we get to that later in the movie, and it's actually Thomas in one of the few scenes where I think he actually does a good job, delivers that's kind of question to Catherine.
Isn't that the whole point of Gabriel? Doesn't he come to Earth with a flaming sword as an instrument of God? That's what I thought.
To guard the gates of Eden. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, Copa. That's 100% true. Yes, Simon did sell heroin to John. I think he was actually wearing that same coat. That might have been Travolta's coat. He may have stolen it. So here we have this wonderful image of an angel falling, and this is what I think is neat about this angel. Who we what's his name?
Uziel.
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 Is that he doesn't? I don't think he gets the time he needs to properly form. Because he's an odd-looking bird.
He doesn't care. In other words,
his forehead is really just peculiar-looking, and we'll get to his eyes here in a sec.
Simon cares about blending in. He doesn't. He's one of yeah.
And this is really neat. Again, you have the bird thing. He's just perched on one of those construction barrier things.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he looks like a crow here. It's the imagery is really good.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great shot.
Yeah. Hi, Ginger.
So before we move further,
hey, what's up, Joker voice?
Who? I'm a fucking owl. Whose time was it to see this movie for the first time? Who hadn't seen this before?
First time.
So Beard of Liberty and Mando.
And
Joker, you hadn't seen this either.
No.
Wow. I'm surprised.
I was too.
No, you were older than 2.
I was like,
I'm sorry, that
3
was
years old.
Come on, that was funny. No, Joker's not laughing at all.
You did
I
not
know there's only
actually
room
put
for
in
one guy
a
to tell
rim
the
shot
fucking joke.
sound effect.
All right, all right. No need to get nasty.
I did. That's mine.
So even look at the go back one frame.
I like how his face looks all
Go
very
back.
waxy.
Yeah, exactly.
melty.
Look at the imagery here where the coat is like a bird tail.
Yeah.
No, it's fucking gorgeous, man. He did a really good job with this stuff.
What I thought was weird about this scene was he just sat there all night till the sun came up.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is.
And
it's
nobody
noticed.
Well,
it's LA. There's
it's
a lot
LA.
of weird shit in
Yeah.
LA.
It's LA in an
fair.
alleyway.
That's fair.
You're lucky this is all that's going on.
Yeah, you're just happy it's just a guy sitting like a fucking bird. But yeah, he does. He looks
like,
he
oh
doesn't,
no,
he
he's
doesn't
not hurting
look,
anyone. Leave him alone.
He doesn't look completely formed.
Right.
And so the camera backs off from the window.
Okay. Roman.
Yeah.
I don't mean to stop you here, but this scene, he takes all of his change and stuff out of his wallet.
It looked Canadian to me. Like it
No,
was
it's
Canadian
not.
money.
It's Japanese.
Is it?
Really?
I looked.
Yeah.
Well, I
What
was
do you
looking
mean?
at I was
When we
looking
pull
at
the money
the
out?
coins. I was looking at
Yeah,
the
we
coins.
pulled out the money, and this is like I was like, what the heck? Why does he have
Oh.
Japanese money? So if you could freeze frame it on, I'll just show you.
There we go. Yeah.
It has a close up shot of. Well, actually, no. It goes. The camera goes above it. I don't know if you could do it or not.
Oh, I don't know if I have. I can't go above it.
Oh, all I saw were the coins.
Well, yeah. This is
then I'm over to him. I'm sorry.
This it's the.
Oh, you're looking at the coins
story.
themselves?
Cherry blossom. Yeah. Well, they have a shot where it goes over it, and it zooms in onto like the Japanese one. I was like, why does he have Japanese money on him? I thought that was kind of strange.
I mean,
Well,
I guess
because-
he's been searching the world for
Yeah.
his soul, so I assume he's been traveling all over.
Right.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
also don't know when he got here, do we?
Yeah. So that was
No.
kind of interesting.
We have no
So he's got,
idea.
like this, because it
Because
shows this
it
for a
could have
reason.
been-
doesn't it? Yeah.
I mean, because this war we know has been going on for a very long time, so we have no idea when Simon got there. I mean, we
Right.
know he hasn't seen Gabriel in a minute, so he could have been here for
Cool.
a long fucking
Yeah.
time. Although I don't know why he would still be carrying change from fucking Japan.
For those
Yeah.
for those of you who've never
All
seen
the
one
details.
before, that
Well-
thing in the middle next to the money, that is a room key, kids. That's what an old key looks like. When you used to have a key for your room, and it's not a
Not a key
card.
card.
Yeah.
Well, we still use it over here in Japan.
And that's a pocket watch, in case you don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck that is.
Here's more bird symbology for you guys.
Okay, we get it, Roman. You're old.
You ever notice how birds just gather things for their nest, random crap?
Yeah, like shiny
Oh.
stuff. Yep.
No.
Oh.
Look at you, Matt. He knows all the things about all the things. That's why we have him on.
Well, I've
Because
seen
he's
this
got a
movie
giant
10 or
brain.
15 times. I love it. So
You see, I just never put all these little bits together though. I just watch it
Yeah.
and I drink and I'm like, man, fucking angels are weird.
He falls
so-
asleep and then misses the
And
Empire.
then I wake up
wakes him
again and I
yells
have to
at him,
watch
and then-
more of the movie. So now,
I read all this like angelic lore and pop critical stuff when I was a teenager in my 20s.
Yep.
And when this movie came along around, then I was like, wow, someone else read this stuff too. You know?
no, yeah, I've got a whole book. It's about angels called Know Your Angels, which is kind of a funny name, but it's all the angels by name, and it gives kind of a description of what their jobs
God.
were. And it's
Like,
both the angels of light and dark, the ones who have fallen as well. So it's a really fun book.
there's all sorts of stuff. Like when they led us to the secret Jesuit library where their cool TV was, there was a whole wall full of this stuff. Like, and then Father Izzardo was like, "Oh, this book was in the 15th century. Some crazy monk decided he was going to name all the demons on Mars." I mean, there's all sorts of books like that they just wrote. Like, they were like some monk was inspired in their monastery that the church has, and.
It's probably from the
those were
2
good
liters
times.
of beer they drank every day instead of eating bread.
Hey, look, some of us drink 2 liters of beer a day. Let's not
Hey,
make judgment calls there, buddy.
Yeah.
So Utzel just crashes through the window that we just saw, and it was neat because Simon was prepping for that before he came through. And
Yeah,
he like did this sniff thing.
Yeah.
And he knew he was coming, and he started running forward before he jumped through the window, and then they collided. It was like another cool shot. And we're still only a few
if
minutes.
you watch
into
it
the
in
movie.
slow mo, have you ever seen birds fight in the sky?
Yes.
Oh, claws out.
Claws out, attack, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now Utsul's like, you found it, haven't you? You can't keep it from us. And hilarity ensues, and he stabs him with a really big fucking knife. And then Simon shoves him on the window. I love this though. The glass protruding through his fucking neck. Oh, that's glorious, man.
And you had a good shot of Eric Stoltz's stuntman there too.
Yeah.
One more.
What, that one?
Yeah, that's not Eric Stoltz. That's his stuntman.
That could be Eric Stoltz or maybe Steven Ransom.
Could be Steven Ransom.
He's also in LA, so it's entirely possible. So now I love this. Like I said, I just really like the shot. And then Simon peels the glasses off. And what does he have? Fucking no eyes.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's
That's
a
crazy.
creepy image. His whole fucking face is
a little
creepy
unsettling.
Image. It is. And like I said, it's the undeveloped thing. That's what he just didn't take the time to bother as Matt said, he just didn't care. So he's just like, boom, I'm here. I'm not sure why he shoved his fingers in the empty eye sockets. Maybe they were a good placeholder for the thumbs and then shoves them out the fucking window. There's some people I'd like to do that too.
This next part so he lands on top of a car and he's jacked up, and then just down the alleyway going at full speed is a random car.
Yeah.
That just goes into the wall.
But when it hits him, that was really good in the movie.
It was. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the full.
They had like a dummy and they did it, and man, they folded.
It was very
as to them taking out the eyes. Somewhere in one of the Gospels, it's like the eyes are the light to the soul, or the whole something about your eyes. If your eyes aren't healthy, your body won't work.
Eyes are like magical. Yeah. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So he's not doing well at this point. He took a big knife. So and then I didn't get it because I suck as a fucking host. The Utsul was trying to dig into the hole in his chest with his claw that he had made with the knife. And there's old Utsul just kind of spread out over the hood there. That's lovely. And Tommy Daggett's arriving on the scene, and he's like, "Why the fuck am I here? I work nights. This isn't my deal." And the other cop's like, "Well, we'll get to that in a minute."
Now, my one major criticism of the movie is from about here for the next half an hour. The pacing is a little messed up. Like,
I won't disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like it when they get to the morgue, but right now, a lot of this stuff was kind of unnecessary, but whatever, it's fine. He's missing a couple things.
It was. I like the part of this though, because it felt like an old cop show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nowadays, with the cops, yeah, that was good.
Right, and how the two interact with each other and are jibing each other and making jokes and stuff. And nowadays, like CW shows and stuff, they don't do that.
Yeah, the banter between was really good.
From Matthew. Dempsey just gave us the Bible verse I was talking about before.
Yep.
Oh. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. My whole body is full of darkness. Miss Sassy Sasquatch, welcome to the show. Good to see you out there. So you're just coming in when we have
is leaking all over.
It's not good. Yeah, his darkness is leaking all over the hood of that car. So yeah, the cop who's down there, Burroughs is his name, says, yeah, he's just missing a couple things. And Daggett's like, what? He's like, his eyes. Maybe they're in the radiator grill. And it was just funny.
I love that. Those lines are great. Those are great little lines right there. Yeah.
Like the assumption is he got hit so hard his eyes popped out of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know who this actor was. I didn't take the notes on, but really good.
Yeah, the banter
line so naturally.
Right, exactly. The banter between the two felt natural, felt realistic, like how men actually talk to each other.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Well, I'll get a better one down for you one day, Miss Sassy Sasquatch. When you're on the show. I try to do my WWE introductions. So it's funny. So Tom Daggett's like, is there any evidence? And the cop's like, there might be something that you as a trained detective might find as clues.
Exactly. He's like, hopefully you as a trained detective will be able to figure it out.
It's just funny. The fucking room was just a disaster.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder
signs of a
if there are
struggle.
clues.
Yeah.
Is that a clue?
I wonder what happened here. Yeah.
Yeah.
All this red stuff. Oh, it's just paint, I'm sure.
And then we see the paper again for Chimney Rock. So this is important. So pay attention to that. And then we have Colonel Arnold Hawthorne, age 85. Who could Colonel Hawthorne be?
He's a big
and then,
jerk.
But so this is where we have for me, this was a little bit of a weird deal. So remember Daggett? So at this point, Tommy Daggett, the detective, never acknowledges his visit with Simon. Did he forget it? Was he made to forget it? I don't fucking know. But now his book is in this room where Simon was, and all this chaos has ensued. That's why they called him down here. Weird, but again, he doesn't acknowledge it in the scene.
He doesn't.
And the detective reads a passage out, and he's like, "Hey, Tom, you've been holding out on me. I didn't know you could read and write."
By the way, God or whatever angel he's doing is still trying to send him visions. He's just not listening.
So now we are traveling to Chimney Rock. The town is dying.
And I having been through Arizona, I can tell you that they really filmed this on location in some real little town somewhere out there. Because it really looks like that. And this is back in 95, so some of those buildings are probably even older now and more rundown.
So there's a choir recital, and this is really nice. They're singing in I don't know if is it Ave, some kind of Ave Maria.
Ave Maria. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's lovely. I don't think the children are actually singing it, but it's lovely. And now we're getting this is Catherine. She is the teacher. And go ahead.
That is
Virginia Madsen.
Madsen, who's normally a blonde.
Yeah.
She looks hot. She looks hot as a brunette. And there's a film with her, Don Johnson, and a young Jennifer Connelly where you see boobs. So I'm just saying.
Really? I did. What is the movie, Joker? You can't just leave us hanging like that. What's the movie?
Whose boobs do you see?
You see hers and Jennifer's.
What about Don Johnson's?
What's the
name of this movie again?
I think it's called. I think it's called the Hot Zone.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
that
was in her. That was in her filmography.
She also played.
Suddenly everybody goes off camera.
David Lynch's Dune.
Right. But why do I feel like I thought she was in Total Recall too? But
no, that was Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sharon. So now this is Mary. This is the first look you get at Mary. She's just kind of one of the people you're panning across, but you see there's a connection between Catherine, the teacher, and Mary, the student.
Mm-hmm.
Now more shots from outside. The darkness. This is the church where Colonel Hawthorne is still laid out. This is a creepy scene for me.
When we get later into this movie, I have a lot of questions about this guy.
Oh, Lord. So he's a Korean War veteran, and we're going to see some interesting things that he did at Chosen. So Simon walks in. He's clearly injured. He's trying to cover his wound. I don't know why he's bothering, but whatever. Look at that kid's face. It's like he just ate a bad fucking meatball or something.
He looks so excited to be there at that moment. Just the best part of his life.
I was taught they had candy here.
Yeah. You said there was going to be punch and pie.
There was no pie.
Scene, and then the other ones that are very similar to this. Just
the opposite of this scene are fucking creepy. So he says some words in Latin here. Matt, do you know what they were?
I don't remember the words, but the mouth thing I was going to explain. And this, by the way, is still true in the real world today. When a baby, I work in women's healthcare and OB. When a baby takes its first breath, that's what's considered alive legally and no longer a fetus. The whole concept, I'm trying to remember the way it worked out, is when you take, like your soul, when it leaves your body, it comes out the open orifices of your face. That's the concept that's being at play here. And so they're grabbing his, but your soul is in your body until the angel of death comes to get it, basically, which is Archangel Michael, and for purposes of this. So this soul here, he has to get it before, because Michael is on the good guy's side in heaven, and he doesn't want this guy to go to go anywhere because he's that's something from the future movies. And so they have to get this guy's soul.
Did they already talk about the actual prophecy that
No, not yet. Okay. Not yet. So what you're seeing here, you can actually see it here in the screenshot. There's a little, you can see this vapor coming out, and then it gets kind of creepy, and he goes on full fucking mouth, and he's there for like a minute, and he grabs the coffin, and it's a disturbing image. It is a disturbing image. It's disturbing for me. I also have a fear of the dead, so that it makes it maybe like a lot fucking worse for me. I don't know why I have a fear of the dead, but I do. I can't go to an open casket fucking anything because I get too creeped out by it. So,
or do you have a fear of, if you're in your casket, someone coming up and doing full mouth on you?
I would prefer that not happen. There are two versions of the order in my house. One is to have me encased in amber. Everybody has rejected that. And the second is to just have me reduced to ash, but you have to keep me on the mantle. So we'll see how it goes.
With a picture of your face on the urn, holding breadsticks and
fucking breadsticks. Don't give JT any ideas for my funeral. JT, buy all of
JT, there it is.
Fucking JT, don't you
there
do
it
it.
is.
If I die soon,
The
JT,
urn,
you're not allowed to cater it.
Yep,
the urn is going to have a picture of Roman holding breadsticks on the urn.
There it is.
When you're here, your family.
No, the urn doesn't have breadstick holders on it attached to it.
That's actually more creepy. You made it more creepy, Mando.
Oh, there's some even creepier scenes coming.
Oh yeah,
it's fucking horrifying. So Mary's outside, and she's just kind of staring off into the dark. And Catherine comes out, and she's like, "What is it?" She's like, "There's something out there." Or what would she say? "Oh, did you pig out on all the cake?" And she's like, "No, there might be some left." And then she's like, "There's something out there."
She was fat shaming her.
And then she runs off while she looks. But then there is something out there, and it's Simon walking through the darkness into the upper level of the school.
Simon, and I love to do drawings.
Cheeky bum looker.
Bum looker. Cheeky monkey.
And so Simon just kind of collapses on the floor because he's not doing well.
Thank you.
And now we are.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you for everyone who got that reference.
Yeah.
And now we are back with Thomas Daggett, the detective he is, in the coroner's office. And I actually love the coroner in this. He was a hoot.
He plays
a hoot.
He's in other stuff. What's his name?
He is.
I kept expecting him to pull that line from Seinfeld.
He's in lots of stuff.
Soprano. He was in The Sopranos, wasn't he?
I can't read this properly because my eyes suck.
It's because you're old.
Heinler? Something like that.
I always said Hittner, but
it's Heitner. Hittner.
Was he in The Sopranos?
But he's the coroner, and he and Tommy are friends, obviously.
He was in Sopranos, yes.
Well, he's a native of Long Island, New York. So he's there you go. He's already got a leg up. Let's see here.
Is it
He was on That's So Raven.
Nothing.
I don't see
he's one of those actors who's in a lot of shit.
Hey, Zombie Box.
He was
Charlie's
in
Angels, Full Throttle.
Hey, Zombie Box. Welcome.
He was in Face Off.
This was funny though, because when they're going through, they're just kind of having a conversation.
He was the taxi.
And he wasn't Taxi too?
No, he was the taxi in a Total Recall.
Okay.
I got you.
The good version.
When they're walking through here, he yells at the just one of the workers there. He's like, I forget the guy's name. I'm going to call him Tyrone because I don't know what his fucking name is. He's like, slow down. Everybody's dead. I thought it was funny.
He was in Ski Patrol too.
Whoa.
And so here we get to Utzel. and they're just taking a look at the body, and he's describing, because they did the autopsy, they ran the blood, and I forget what the exact construct was, but it's like, yeah, it's fine if you're an aborted fetus.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, basically, he's got no
And
markers in his blood of being a living human.
Right.
And he has no eyes, and it's not like they fell out. He has no fucking eyes, no fibers, nothing. There's empty fucking holes in his head. I also love what they did with the fucking weight thing over here. They made it a smiley face, which I think is fucking hilarious.
I love the attention to deal with the claw mark too. If you look on his, the fake corpse there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he was also he was born with born.
Well, he was created with.
Both.
Ew.
Both
Oh, there he goes. He's a hermaphrodite. He has
Both
both female and male organs. And Thomas is like, well, think of the possibilities. And Joseph's like, yeah, you can be frigid and impotent at the same time. They don't work.
Anyone else have a hard time not seeing this guy as his obnoxious character from Seinfeld?
Yeah, that's
who it is. That's it. Oh, that's what it is. I've been trying to do it. That's what it is.
And yeah.
That's he's the comedian. He's the one who keeps irritating.
As soon as I saw him, I was just like, I can't unsee him as that obnoxious guy from Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's his line. That's gold, Jerry. That's gold.
So then he brings out this Bible that he had in his coat pocket. It's all handwritten, and it's got this symbol on it, which he also has on his neck. And he has this great line. He's like, yeah, that's nice, isn't it? And then they go to this.
Now
this part was fun.
The observation of this when the coroner said, you know, it's actually quite lovely to
yes
look at, which I would agree. And then Tom, he's like, yeah, it is. Can I keep this? And he's like, well, yeah, if you sign for it, sure.
Sign for it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And he says, and there's a Velvet's bookmarker to John 23, and Tom's like, that's funny. He's like,
that's
He's like, no, there is no John 23.
It was Revelation 23.
Well, John wrote Revelations.
Correct.
So it's
one of the Johns.
One of the Johns did.
Hey, don't drag me into this.
One thing I liked about this whole part of the, like, where he goes to the morgue and all this, is that everyone is helping him. Nowadays on a TV show, they'd be like, you don't need to be here, get out of here. It'd be like one, hurdle after the other. Instead, they're actually working together. This guy cares about what he wants to do. And today they'd be like, you can't have that book, and they have to steal it or something. They just move the story along, and everybody is helping everybody and like actually doing their job.
Instead of the opposite,
right.
Which is what we fucking get now.
One of the great things about this movie, by the way,
that's terrible. Oh god, and prayers for Janet, by the way. I hope you're healing up well.
It's very show, meaning it's like, in other words, we as the audience they're just telling us what's happening as an audience. The characters may be investigating the mystery, but they're just showing us what's happening. So we're following the journey of the character's investigation, so to speak.
So now we jump to Tommy at his desk. He's got the Bible that he got from the coroner's office. He's got his Bible, and he must have like a book of Latin translation or something over here so he can try to make notes. And again,
it was probably actually written in Greek.
Yeah.
Did you
notice? Well, it's funny because that actor is also Greek.
Did you notice about his desk? I noticed it. There's no computer. There's no. It's
no monitor. You're right.
And if you look in the other shot, the other desk has an electric typewriter on it. He's got an old radio that takes batteries. It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's not plugged
That's right
in.
here.
Yeah. He's got a pencil and pencil sharpeners and.
Yeah, otherwise you could have done this in like a minute.
What a time to be alive.
It was a better time to be alive. I'm not
no Alexa,
to do shit.
No
it was
Google,
a better time to be alive.
No
tablets.
Apple Watches. Right. Yep.
Wow.
Legacy.
So he's just going back and forth between the old text and Revelations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, where was
that?
Sorry.
Music.
Was that
somebody
the spider?
Somebody trying to throw a rave all of a sudden?
No, it was. I had.
And so we get most of this. And there were angels who could not I forget what the
who
word
could
is.
not
Basically,
bear the lifting of man above them, and like Lucifer again rebelled against the armies of the Lord Archangel Michael, and there rose something.
So this is where
second
war
war
in
in
heaven.
heaven.
So this is where we find out that. So you had the first war in heaven where Lucifer was kicked out, and him and all his angels went to hell. Now there's a new war in heaven where the angels, there are some faction of angels that don't like the fact that God loves men or humans more than the angels, and he shows them favoritism, so they're mad, and that's why they want to fight.
In the movies, by the way.
I'm sorry.
I was going to say in the 2 sequels, it's not that God loves man more; it's that He loves him differently, as God reveals. Just so you're aware.
Right. Okay. And this is like a common, and this is not an old.
Hey, Teresa.
This is not an old story. We have seen this in like Supernatural. We have seen this to a small degree in films like Dogma. So any type of angelic, any type of angelic with where there's this war in heaven, it's generally because of this concept here that God has that God has shown favor toward man.
Which makes sense. It was the other change.
It kind of reminds me of like Clash of the Titans, where the other, the gods or goddesses are kind of like
jealous.
Pissed off with Zeus, jealous, because of like all the attention that he's paying to the humans. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to spray this entire fucking desk down with spider spray later.
Yeah, the goddess.
All I keep thinking this whole fucking thing.
Out. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
So there's Utzel's symbol, which looks like a spider, and he's going through a book of angelic scripts, which has Raphael, Kamel, Gabriel, and Utzel, and that's his symbol.
This is a very nice plant, by the way, for Gabriel, like foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is. It's nice. Yeah, lower soldier angel, and lieutenant to the seraph or archangel Gabriel, and then it goes into
because I'm Gabriel with the wings and the halo, and
I wore this uncomfortable halo up my ass for a very long time.
For 4 years. For 4 years.
I have such a hard time. I had such a hard time watching him in this entire movie. Like, he's basically become like
I thought it was awesome.
He's basically become like his own version of like William Shatner. Like when you become a caricature of yourself, and you just you can't see or hear them in any other role or any. Just like but part of me almost wonders, like with his like weird black hair and his mannerisms and everything, if this movie is what made Tim Burton want to cast Christopher Walken as the Headless Horseman in Sleepy Hollow that came out like 3 or 4 years later.
Probably, because like you were saying, you got Christopher Walken, and the other ones that you were talking about that have that kind of where they kind of just play themselves, like Nick Cage is Nick Cage in every movie.
After a while they basically just become caricatures of themselves. So it's like I forget sometimes that Christopher Walken was ever actually a serious actor, which he really was. He's made some really good, really serious movies like this and some others, but once he got well into the late 90s, I mean, when he was in like Joe Dirt and like some of this other stuff, it's like he's just having fun, but it's like it's hard to take him seriously now.
Well, I think he's going to get a chance to show his acting prowess in Dune 2 when it comes out.
Yes.
The Emperor.
Wait, they cast him in Dune 2?
He plays Shaddam Carino IV, Emperor of the Known
Universe.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shaddam Carino IV, Emperor of the Known Universe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So he just has to play it like the King of New York, and he'll be great.
so Paul Atreides, you were on Dune for a really long time.
You're talking to me. Your tone is all wrong. Let me ask you a question. Does your mother sew? Boom! Tell her to sew that.
Because I'm missing cowbell.
No, I'm like anybody else. I put my pants on one leg at a time, but once my pants are on, I make gold records.
I don't know this yet, but Dave Villeneuve is enough of a director that somewhere behind the scene, like you'll just see a cowbell hanging on a wall somewhere, in
Oh, I
Dune.
hope not.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
So he says his first word here, and this is where you get he has a more gravelly voice here that he's doing, which is interesting. He's like Simon, because he tasted the blood and he knows who it is.
More cowbell.
So now we're back at the school in fucking, shithole Arizona, and the girls are running in. They're going to play hide and seek in the top level of the school, which is
sure they are. They're going to play hide and seek. Yeah.
So I have a problem with Mary's outfit here. She looks like she's wearing mom jeans and she's like 8. And it's a little off-putting. It's very disturbing.
You have to remember, this is the 90s.
We had the mom jeans. I don't know what's going on with the 8-year-old.
Yeah, it was the 90s.
Those are hand-me-downs.
What we now call mom jeans were in fashion for all the youngsters back in the 90s.
Yep.
I don't like it. So she's looking for her friends who are playing hide and seek, and she ends up running across Simon. And he's like, hello.
Looks like a hobo.
He's like, hi. Like, my name is Simon. Okay.
My name is Simon.
So they have a little conversation, and she's like, I gotta go. she's like, do you? And she's like, are you hungry? And he's like, she brings him some food. That's an awkward.
That was not a flattering screenshot.
I apologize to Mary for that screenshot. So anyway, they have a little conversation, and go ahead.
And I know that
was a boomer moment.
And I know the girl is 8, and it's not her fault, but her incisors are just very pronounced and very white. It's just
oh, she's got the fangs.
Something wrong with being white, huh?
White.
Whoa! What are you doing there?
I'm just saying, she's got beaver teeth.
Well, some of us I can't show them, but I have pointies as well. So
beaver teeth. I mean, it's her front 2 incisors are just.
You're talking about her giant chompers.
Yeah,
I do just got to say that
the kid's going out to get him some food.
I do got to say overall, I do like her in that role.
Things really start picking up for me. This is where we meet Jerry. There's a weird song playing.
Hey Jerry,
great.
I don't know the piece of music, but I wish I did.
Jerry is a corpse.
It is, yeah. Jerry is. You don't know what he is when you see him. So everything in here is rotting. There's maggots on the food. There's a picture of Jerry
and his emo girlfriend.
Yeah. Jerry's another one that I cannot unsee him from Dazed and Confused.
I've never seen that.
He was in
Dazed and Confused.
I haven't.
Yeah, he was in Saving
Private Ryan.
Yeah,
he's done a lot.
But then you see this. And
that's
you know
the only
something
thing
has
that's
gone
burned in my brain for him.
I like how
horribly wrong.
Month right behind it.
And Jerry's not looking good.
He's wearing like a valet.
He's not doing well.
A valet uniform or something, or a waiter. One of the two.
It's like the song's
probably one of the two. Yeah, one or the other.
Friend too. It's just like really creepy, weird stuff. And then Gabriel's
perched on the chair again.
Yep.
He's like, "You're not looking good, Jerry." And he's like, "Leave me the fuck alone, Gabriel."
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that skull behind them whenever I was watching it first.
Yeah, it's one of the Day of the Dead. Yeah, one of the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, over here. Yeah.
Maybe Jerry has a fever, and the only cure.
And there's only one.
I think it's more cowbell. So everything here is just trash. Obviously, it's not looking good for Jerry.
And he's got that 1970s turntable stereo back there.
Hey, that was the shit.
One of those.
That's a good thing. I wish I had one.
You got a nice looking blender.
Roman took that one personally.
I did, and he starts whimpering here because he's.
I stop doing that. I don't like it when you do that.
He's like, "Stop it! You know I hate that. Stop it!"
And then he says.
Wait, he's in Private Ryan? Are you fucking kidding me? I didn't.
Yeah, he's the one who gets snapped there at the end.
I know everybody in Private Ryan looks exactly the fucking same to me. I know Vin Diesel's in it too. It's probably the fucking same character.
Is this true, Copa? You and Jana watched Private Ryan with Adam Goldberg?
That's kind of neat.
Well, remember, Copa's like a person. He's not like the rest of us.
Wow,
nice. Welcome, my undead brother. It's good to see you.
But why?
It's good to see
why?
You out there. So
we all look
now,
like Leatherface?
And then Gabriel, and then Jerry says something else. When he says something like "God damn it," and Gabriel's like, "I will not allow that profane."
Watch the profanity.
Yeah.
You need to watch the profanity.
You need to watch the profanity. Okay.
So now Gabriel's like, I need you to do something for me. I need you to go down to the coroner's office, and I need you to get this box of stuff from John Doe number 12 or whatever.
The relationship between these two people almost reminds me of like a vampire with its
yes,
what call it?
Yes, exactly.
It's familiar.
Yeah, there we go.
Redfield.
Yeah, Redfield.
Yeah, he has to do what he says. He has no desire to do it, but he has to do it.
He's not like fully undead, but he's like sort of undead, and he has to listen to his master.
Yeah, what happens is Gabriel has to find somebody that just is on the cusp of death, and watch them die, and at that very moment he can bring them back, so they can be his puppet.
Yeah.
Well, that's like we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves a bit, but like later in the movie when things happen and stuff, and he's like, how hard it is to get one of those.
The soul is still with the body, so to speak.
So Tommy says Tommy fell asleep at his desk doing his translation. Joseph shows up. He kind of wakes him up. He's like, "Hey."
He's like, "Hey,
so they have a discussion about that Bible, carbon dated to 2nd century, making it the oldest in existence that anybody knows about.
That's pretty quick carbon dating.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, you can't get that.
Was the amount of resources they'd be like,
Hollywood
we carbon dated it and sent it off for this, and it's like, come on.
Yeah, it's like overnight. It's good to go, but that's fine.
Top priority.
It's fine. So yes, he's like, so don't fucking lose it. And then he asks, so what do you find? And then Thomas gives him, kind of the who's what. And this was the interesting part, and this is where that prophecy comes out about the second, what the war was about us. But then there's the second part, which is there's going to be a dark soul. It's going to reside in a warrior. It's not an angel, but it's like the kind of the super warrior soul, which one side or the other wants to get a hold of. But it resides in a man, not an angel, and it eats dark souls. It's a really creepy fucking prophecy.
And I guess the concept is they're collecting the dark souls to use them as a weapon. I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because humans can they're better at like thinking up ways to kill stuff than the angels are,
which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, spoiler here: the long-term plan of the side Gabriel is on is finish up the war in heaven and then use this guy to wipe out humans.
Oh,
Gabriel is like number 2 in his faction in the prophecy trilogy.
Yeah, they didn't really get into that, but I kind of got that feeling that they wanted it to get rid of humanity because that was jealous. Basically, jealousy started everything, so it made sense to me.
If you blow up on this, it says freezers are for bodies, not beer.
I was just gonna say, like, can we appreciate the fact that there's a sign on the the coroner's cooler that says, exactly that.
Well,
I appreciated that.
This is back.
That was a fine little detail to pick up on.
This
is
is
for bodies, not beer.
This is back in the days when you could like have a few cold ones after work and no one would say anything.
Also true. Remember, he doesn't have a computer. He has a little shitty television in front of him.
Oh yeah, one of the little
black and white.
Yeah,
like
nowadays
antenna,
he'd be screwing around on his phone.
Yeah, on a tablet, phone, whatever. Like, yeah.
And Gabriel comes in, he's like, shh, and just kind of pushes him over. He starts sniffing around.
We're gonna burn this mother down.
And then he finds
black hair.
His buddy. And this is so he does actually seem to show a genuine care about Utzel. The hands-on kind of thing. He's not just getting rid of the body. He is taking care of his friend the way they need to. That's the way that I took this scene. He doesn't want the humans to do it.
you'll hear a line later in the movie where Gabriel said he can't hear God's voice anymore, right? You'll find later in the two movies, Gabriel is upset because he can't hear God's voice, so he's blaming humans for it.
Oh, okay.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
So he does this little ceremony over the body, and then the finger thing, and then in fuego burns the body, which would have set off alarms almost immediately in any modern institution.
Yeah, there would have been sprinklers going off and all.
They would have been. Yeah, it would have not been good. It would have not been good.
I think even back in '95, they would have.
Yeah, they would have been going. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have went off.
So all the kids are coming back in the classroom. She's like, "Hey, has anybody seen Mary?" And they're like, "No." Were you guys upstairs? No.
I was.
And she's like, "Fuck all. Okay, so, fine. You guys read your fucking books. I'm going upstairs."
The thing about this building is it's the school, but since the mine closed in the the town used to have a lot more people, but the copper mine closed, so most people left. So they don't use most of the school, so it's just full of like chairs from the 50s and stuff.
Yeah, just empty space.
Right. So just filled with junk.
Ah, creepy.
This scene, like this,
they couldn't
just creeped me out, man. I was like, nay, I don't care if you're a good guy or not. This is inappropriate, and not okay.
She's like Mary over here.
The two straw things, like they're on a date from the 50s or something.
Yeah, and then
there's a malt shop.
I'm a
like,
teacher over here. I'm a teacher, and if I walked into a room with one of my students there with a man, I had no idea who he was.
And he looked like a hobo. Yeah,
I would react a lot more stronger than like Catherine does. This is like,
well, no, you wouldn't, because
you?
He's a good angel, and they still radiate the we love humans.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
I kind of got that feeling later on in this scene when he's talking to her. Is I was like, he must be using some kind of like
super angel radar
or something like a vampire does.
Your initial instinct, your initial reaction before knowing anything would be much more like, I understand like her like not wanting to upset the little girl, and she's trying to just be like, okay, like go downstairs, but like if you just walked in, I feel like your instincts would be like, what the fuck?
Well,
like,
it was the same with the little
I am just appalled at the misandry here. Why is it got to be men?
Well, also,
why are there no women?
When the scene first happened, when the little girl walks in and sees him, I was like, she must have a really high tolerance for like low tolerance for danger or whatever.
Right, but that makes sense. Yeah, right. He had angel fucking radar.
Because most people would have been like, some creepy homeless dude, I'm out of here. And then can we address this, please? What teacher dresses like this, where she's showing?
This is a problem with the whole fucking thing.
I got no objections.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest, I'm not mad at it, but hey, that's just
fine with it.
All I'm saying is where teachers like
she's
her.
Pretty hot, but it's wildly inappropriate. That Mrs. Terenzini watched it, or Mrs. Mrs. of the Empire watched it to me last night, and she's like, that's not appropriate for any age classroom. And I'm like, I know, honey, I know. But
and yes, she really does sound like Marge Simpson, if anyone's wondering.
But in a town of 25, I mean, really?
Well, and she's obviously Native American as well, or at least part, because she goes. We'll get to that in a second. This movie is kind of interesting because it is kind of a melding of religious
faith
culture, where you have the heavy Catholic influence, but you also have a heavy Native American influence here as we get towards the what happens, which is interesting.
Yeah,
and she's like, go ahead, go.
Oh, I was gonna say it is because having been and lived in the Southwest and stuff like that, and there is that culture ingrained, and with the Native Americans, and but I just if they made this movie today and they had these posters and stuff, there'd be people all over the place about cultural appropriation and you're not doing this right, and you're making I don't know. I just don't feel like movies like this could be made today.
Probably not. But you can go hunt down Whedon, like interviews with Whedon, who wrote this and directed this one, and like the premise, kind of in the background, is that like God, the Great Spirit, Brahman, it's like the same entity, and the angels are being interpreted different ways among the different religions, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's kind of the artistic presence that he's doing with this.
Right, and I didn't really have a problem with it at all. All I'm saying is today there'd be some jackass on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Well, also like that one particular scene later on with the little girl, I can imagine just the outcry of "You did what?"
Yeah, well, we'll get to that because that one is something that there's no way they can do that today
because that comes really quick. Do what you're talking.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just didn't know this is jumping ahead slightly, but I have to comment on how just unorthodox this teacher is. That in a little bit, we see her just leave the school to take one student home, presumably still in the middle of the school day, because they just got in from recess.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this might not be like regular school. This might be like summer school camp type thing.
The other thing is in really small towns where everybody knows everybody, that's just kind of, especially back then too.
Yeah,
it isn't like today where you are afraid to let your kid go out in your front yard alone.
And she's probably got like one of the older kids who kind of like takes charge, like, okay, you like Sarah,
right,
you keep an eye on everyone, and
you're in charge.
Yeah,
because later when isn't it later like when the Thomas Daggett comes by and he's like, "What grade is this?" and she says like, "Oh, it's kind of like mixed with everything."
Right?
Because it's such a small town that it's just kind of like, oh, we just have one class. So it is kind of that like small town thing of like, hey, like I'll be right back. Somebody oldest student, keep an eye on everyone.
Yeah,
like,
one or two of the kids in the back looked like they might have been 16 or 17. So.
I was going to say during the choir scene, one of the kids right dead center in the back row looks like he had a mortgage.
Like him and his kid are in the choir.
Right.
He's contributing to his 401k and
private back shadow going on.
Not good. So she's like, I'd like you to, I can call the police or something, but they just want to help you. And he's like, I'd like you to leave, Catherine. And she just kind of wanders off, and he's not doing good. He's hunched over, but then little Beavertooth comes back.
Exactly.
And he's like,
that's a great name. That's her.
It is. That's what she does.
Who grabbed these screenshots, Roman? Come on, man.
She's like,
what?
Succotash.
Who grabbed these screenshots?
I got some soda for you.
What? I'm usually drunk when I'm doing my screenshots.
Must be the last one of the season.
Honestly,
she's like, I was hiding. I'm very clever. And he's like, yes, you are, Mary.
Okay, can I say this is where I got really creeped
and this
out?
is where things go really fucking weird in this movie, though.
No.
So this is the moment where I thought, okay, like I can understand that like this is a movie. This is like you can say anywhere between science fiction and fantasy to whatever. But like when you watch the scene and it really actually happened, I'm like, as an actor, I would be like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. So he's like, Mary, because
I'm not one of those people to look back on things that are 20, 30 years old and go, oh, there are things that are made before this time that were problematic. I'm like, no, like this is one that I feel like the actor should have been uncomfortable when this originally happened. Like this is problematic then.
But, it's effective though. It is effective, but it's creepy.
I understand. The camera could have cut away like 10 seconds prior.
That would have probably worked better.
Yeah.
Really
weird. Remember
what
he's doing.
I want to tell you a secret.
He's putting an evil soul in her. You're supposed to
think the audience would have gotten the point if we hadn't gotten to the point of them actually locking lips. And I'm just like, that's just weird. Just weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything, but then everything,
like, okay,
and everything leading up to it. I've got a secret.
Yeah. And he's like,
grab that screenshot.
And he's like,
to be honest, it looks like.
And he's like, you can keep the secret, right? And you're like, oh, this is I see where this is going.
I really believe that the audience would have understood what happened if we hadn't gone that far. I think we would have understood what was going on, what was happening.
He's like, can you keep a secret? I got something to give you. You know, and you're like,
you hear
what?
pants
Give her an
unzipping.
STD or something. Like,
I didn't make the movie, Kilpa.
oh, I
And then
almost
poor
I
Mary's,
almost
like,
couldn't get through
yakking
it
her
after
guts
this.
out.
You're like, nope, that's weird.
I
Roman,
don't
you're
feel
going to
good.
jail.
Can
You,
I go
Roman,
home?
you've been canceled.
I didn't make the movie, and if you don't
then-
see that scene,
And then,
But you
And then
grabbed the
right
screenshot.
and, well, and then right on top of that, there's Mary going, I don't feel good. Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa! Just all kinds of no.
so it makes you wonder though. What did the writer? What was? I mean, what the fuck was that dude thinking?
Okay, now,
So
ideally,
what you guys are
ideally-
joking about, like right? What's that's actually happening to our soul? The evil soul is doing that. It's raping our soul.
Yeah.
So,
right. So
Like we get that, but we didn't need to have that.
I'm not arguing it. I'm just
Mouth-
saying
mouth
I understand
contact.
the symbiology.
So you could have, after seeing Stoltz extract a soul, in the manner he did.
No, he had to put it back.
Well, you could have gone with this scene right up until that moment.
Yeah, because you get the idea.
Or they could have done it like Life Force, where it's a little farther from the mouth.
Yeah, and it's just kind of light back and forth. That would have been better.
This is like the only film Gregory would then ever directed, and so it shows. But it's
and that was it for him.
Yeah.
So poor Mary and Catherine are going back to the res here.
Meanwhile, the rest of the kids are still reading.
You're just still reading. Oh, yeah, fuck this. I guess we're gonna finish this thing. She drops her off with her grandma because that's who's taking care of her. Gives her some water. What's her fuck? Catherine's gonna go get a doctor. And then she's talking to the cops. She's like, yeah, it was really fucking weird. He gave me bad vibes. And the cops are like, yeah, we're taking care of some stuff up on the freeway right now. Might be a while before we get down there. These people are rarely a problem, though.
Well,
all right.
And that was back then, too. Now, they would, be some kind of like fentanyl fiend or something.
Yeah, homeless guy in a school. All right, that's fine.
Yeah, no, it's not okay.
I was gonna say, John, you got to go soon?
Yeah, I gotta take off. It's getting to be about
tomorrow.
Past my bedtime.
Tomorrow work day.
Tomorrow's a work day. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're what?
Yeah, I said the word. I said
you're sorry.
What do you got coming up?
No, Roman is actually Canadian, even though Zax doesn't want to claim him.
That's true.
But yeah, I got to take off. I've hung in as long as I can for the night, but it's time to start getting ready for the workday and busy weekend.
You got the Monday coming up. What do you got coming up?
Yeah, so Monday, keeping the Monday mixtape Mondays going. I think this Monday I'm going to be specifically focusing on talking about a album by Tool by the name of Anima, or however you want to pronounce it.
Great album. Great album.
It was a big pivotal point in their career, so I think that it's something worth dedicating a live stream to, and that's Mixtape Monday is going to be about the Tool album Anima. So that's about all I got planned right now, and then just more stuff of just like triggering all the people that are either in support of or against Oliver Anthony, because that seems to be my lot in life right now. But I'm having fun messing with the trolls.
Gotcha. Good times.
Because I don't lose sleep over it, and I love seeing the comments, but people are funny when they think they're going to hurt my feelings. I don't have any feelings to hurt.
You have one feeling. I've seen it.
Hey, that was our secret.
Uh-oh.
Not that kind of secret. Not like that scene secret.
That's what I was just going to say. I was like, is it a recreation of that scene from the movie?
No!
Two guys in a cup now? Is that what we're saying?
Oh God, that's so much worse.
Too soon.
Too soon. No, it's always too soon for them.
All right, guys. Anyway, it's been fun hanging out, everybody. Thanks so much for having me, and hopefully throughout spooky season when you're not talking about Disney properties that are Marvel.
I sent you a thing for next
Star
week
Wars
already, so go and look at your thing. Go and look at your thing.
Hey! Don't tell me to look at my thing. I'll look at my thing.
Wow, phrasing.
Roman, you guys all heard it. Roman wants to look at my thing.
No one wants to look at your thing. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go on.
Roman, you are fired. You're fired. All right. Anyways, yeah, I'm out, guys. It's been fun. I'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one.
All right, buddy.
Later, buddy.
Later. It's always good having the kid on. All right, so now we're back in the morgue with the unfortunately crispy body of Utzel.
Mm-hmm.
And they took all the belongings, which they said they were going to do anyway.
They must need a lot of hairspray.
And John and Daggett, Tommy Daggett's like, yeah, I think I've got to go somewhere. I've got to go to Chimney Rock. And what's this fuck's like? Go and get some answers and then call. Which is weird.
Make sure that I'm not crazy.
Make sure, yeah. Well, but they don't have a linear. I mean, they both work in different departments, so I don't quite, Daggett seems to have an awful lot of latitude with what he's going to do with his fucking day.
Exactly. Yeah. Like he's like, I'm just going to drive to Arizona. Okay.
To Arizona from Los Angeles, where I have no jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And okay, that's fine. Bye. So now we have John Doe number 12.
Listening to the voice.
He is, but again, like I said, it's written from someone's perspective who doesn't have a good idea of how things actually work, which I guess is fine. But
well, like I said, they didn't.
Wow, that's crazy. Get all this stuff.
Stuff and such.
Stuff.
What? So now they're going through the box. There's all these.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
I knew it was going to happen.
So what? But he finds the obituary for Colonel Hawthorne. He's like, "Is it you feel like taking a trip or something like that?" And fucking Jerry gets pissed. He's like, "When are you going to let me die?" Soon.
I like this that part right there, that shot right there, the sound effects that they had. Of course.
Going into this,
but yeah, that part right there, I thought that was really good. There was like this really kind of growl kind of thing that happens right here. It was really cool, like that transition from the scene before to this one.
And then they're on the road.
Because the driving,
on
Jerry,
the road again.
Jerry, who from what he said, he can't see, and
he's like, I can't see,
and then. But okay, so it was if it was
I love
explained,
this part.
So if it was explained, I missed it. How come angels can't drive?
They don't understand. Okay.
It's like this. Some work is meant for talking monkeys, like you, Jerry.
Okay,
that was pretty much it.
In their angelic form, they don't need machines to do anything.
Okay.
So this is just the tools of monkeys, basically, to them.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Talking monkeys, like you.
I could have watched just a whole movie with just these two characters.
These two? I know, it was just so good.
Just a road trip movie with just these two guys.
Because Jerry was like, after Gabriel had that offload, Jerry's like, Thanks, Gabriel. That was nice.
Yeah. It's like a zombie leaving Las Vegas or something.
Yeah.
And then Gabriel's like, stop the car.
How was that again?
And then, stop the car. And then he's like, I can always smell a graveyard, because he has the creepy voice again. He goes from Christopher Walken to creepy guy.
I think he's sufficiently creepy in this. I think it works.
True.
Oh, yeah.
I love this scene as well. This scene, there's one line in the scene that Mrs. of the Empire will laugh at every fucking time we watch.
Oh, yeah.
So he's perched up again. You get the perch. This is nice. This is great with the perch. And you see the dirt flying out of the grave because poor Jerry's down there like a fucking monkey digging the hole. He's like, you having a good time up there? And Gabriel's like, I always love watching you work, Jerry. That's not even the line. I just thought that was funny. So they're digging up Colonel Hawthorne's body. And he hits the coffin. He's like, wipe it off. And there he is. And this part is really good. He's like, oh, you are looking at the meanest, darkest, sickest monkey of them all. I love him.
I love him.
That was, and then he goes to look, and he's sniffing around doing the thing, and he opens them up, and he's like,
he's gone.
It's not here. It's not here. And this is my favorite line. He asked Jerry, he's like, if you were a soul, where would you hide? And Jerry says, the hell away from you? Which I fucking love every time I watch it. And he's like, shut up. And then he sniffs around because he gets the scent of Simon outside. But I thought that was just in the whole. Oh, and actually, with the first thing he says when he opens the mouth, he says, "It's not here."
Oh, Nas, please don't, Nas, please don't.
No, Nas, no.
No monkeys for you, Nas. No monkeys.
No monkeys. So
let me see if I think I've got a sound alert for that.
It's not here. It's not here.
God, no.
Okay, there we go.
I like that. Oh, that is a toy.
Jerry says, "Well, that's hell for the war effort." And then Gabriel gets mad. Shut up. So then they're back up in the attic of the school, and poor Simon's crawling along. He's not doing well. He looks up and fuck my life.
Perching again.
Simon. Hey, Gabe. Hey, Gabe.
What's up,
What's
Gabe?
up?
How you
Yeah.
doing?
What's up? How you been?
Simon, Gabe.
You doing good?
He's like, I don't suppose you have it with you. No. You know the routine then, right?
Yeah.
Yes. No, he tries to
Sorry.
run. That's right. And Jerry trips him. He's like, hey, sorry, man. Because
No,
Jerry can't help himself. He can't not do what Gabriel wants, even though he doesn't want to.
Poor Jerry.
And so Gabriel's he's questioning about the soul. He's trying to bring him over. And it's interesting because the angels do seem to have genuine affection for each other, even though they're on other sides of the war. It's like it's civil war. I mean, it's basically the same thing, brother against brother, so to speak. And this speech is so good.
That's a conceit of Gabriel. When you see the war up there, the corpses are piled like 20 feet high of dead angels. So it's I'll say this: the reason I love the trilogy because Christopher Walken takes Gabriel on a journey in the 3 movies, and it's a very satisfying end for Gabriel.
It is actually the end for Gabriel is good, but this movie is complete on its own. You don't have to watch them because they're not as good as this. So Simon and Gabriel are having a conversation about faith. And Simon's like, so when did you lose your grace, Gabriel? And Gabriel's basically, they talk about what it was like before. And Simon's like, yes, we threw, Gabriel's like, we threw them off their walls and their rebel thrones. And Simon's like, they wanted to be gods. And Gabriel's like, I don't want to be God. I just want to be the way it was before. I will not be replaced by a talking monkey. Is the vibe of it. He hates humanity. He hates it. But
and this goes
they do
just, and this just goes back to this is something that has been used time and time again because it works. This is just a good storyline.
Yes.
To frame your story around.
And they obviously haven't seen each other in a long time, which is why we have to ask, how long has Simon been here? We don't know. But
then again, for creatures who operate outside of time,
that's
a long time for them. I mean,
millennia.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it could have been. Yeah, I mean, he could have come down after after Christ came. We don't know when Simon. Gabriel just showed up. We do know that. We don't know how long Simon's been here. He's been here a long fucking time. And then he's like, the drill. And then he sets him on fire.
No,
which it's a pretty good effect. And then we go back to poor Mary, who's having just weird visions, and he throws him. He's still burning, and he's like, "Not yet."
Not yet. Yeah, and he stops the fire.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was so cool, though.
that was. Yeah,
Gabriel has this control. Ugh. Ugh. And he's like, I can make this go on forever. Yeah, and just tell me. So next day, beautiful shot. That's lovely.
Yeah, that's a desert sunset or sunrise, and we have the best. I'm just saying.
And now we're here at poor Crispy Simon, and he's like, I can make this go on for just tell me. And he's like, I will never give the soul to you. And Gabriel respects this, though. He's like, you know what? You're old school, brother. I appreciate it.
Oh,
then he fucking punches his heart out. And then that's when Simon goes to this mode, though. You can see this. No eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever hold the heart has in this form for them is unique.
It looked like it kind of desiccated him, like it deflated him a little bit, like his face is real sunken in.
It did, yeah. It looked like you pulled the air out of him.
And that's like something to do with like the lifeblood in the heart or something like that. I don't remember the whole bit, but there's a scene later when Lucifer eats it, so to speak. It's the same concept.
What I did, like I said, though, Lucifer doesn't look happy when he does this. Except the only good thing he says that he has that one thing before he sets him on fire. The nice thing about a conversation like this, you never have to have it again.
Oh yeah,
that's
a good line.
Yeah, and then we fade back to the town.
Yeah, Gabriel's attitude is like, this can just stop once we get rid of these monkeys. We'll all be happy again.
Exactly. It's just he just wants to get rid of us, and everything will be fine. Everything will be good again. Driving up to the school. Oh yeah, and this is where they find
Crispy
Simon.
Creed.
And the sheriff asked anybody talked to her. She's like, Mary talked to him. Okay. Now we're back out in the res. They got some kind of ceremony going over Mary right now that I don't quite understand. Trying to determine whether she needs to have like a bigger ceremony.
He's doing a tribal diagnosis of shamanism to try to see what's going on with her, and they discover the parasitical evil soul.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because they already had
there's all these terrible drawings
come out and look at her. Has she said something yet?
Or, not yet. She hasn't said anything
yet. Okay,
yet,
she hasn't said anything where you get that. So
yeah, that's when Thomas comes up. We'll see that soon.
So
this particular scene, or sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say so the evil spirit is like inducing her to make all these drawings, and since it's Hawthorne and he was in Korea, what she's seeing is, or drawing is, scenes of war that he saw.
Right.
I wouldn't even go as far, because that particular drawing with the 3 people on the sticks, that's a Babylonian / Persian way of torturing their prisoners of war. I don't know if they did that in.
What they're trying to portray is that he is so evil that this is the kind of stuff he thinks about.
Yeah.
He's attracting other evils to him in some capacity.
Yes. And then we go back to Tommy. He's driving. Swell. And now he's at the grave, and he's this guy is funny. He's like, "When did you bury him?" He's like, "Which time?
Which time?
What do you mean?"
Again.
And then someone dug him up last night. I had to bury him again. I'll probably have to. What is he? Oh, he's.
And then he's like, and then some wino burned himself up at the school, so I'll probably have to bury him too.
Yes, I'll have to bury him too. It was just his attitude was fucking funny. So now we're back upstairs. There's a fucking rat. There's always rats. Tommy and his hairpiece. And I think this is the St. Christopher medal that Simon picked up when he was at Tom's house.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, way back in the beginning of the movie.
Is it a rosary or is it just a chain?
No, it's just a chain for the medal that goes around.
Yeah, normally a chain with a medal around it.
Yep.
Sure, it's like the old Italians, they hold that in their hand, like the chain with the St. Christopher medals on it.
She's like, "Who are you?" He's like, I'm a cop. I'm investigating the murder of the guy upstairs." She's like, "Oh, I'm busy." Then they go outside and they throw balls at people.
I love the one kid just beans the other one.
Smacks that kid in the face with that green ball, right?
Yeah. Oh, the good old days. That was
funny. I don't have that. I wish I did. Every time I watch him, I'm like, fuck. And the kid just looks at him and smiles. I'm like, I would beat your little ass. So he's asking her about who talked to the guy upstairs. And again, it comes out as, Mary talked to the guy upstairs. And he said, can I talk to her parents? And she's like, well, they're dead. You have to talk to her grandparents. All right.
Again,
then we back off on the camera here. Her clothes are way more appropriate.
They are, but they're still weird for a teacher.
They're odd. I don't even know what's going on with this. Camera backs off, and you got Gabriel sitting up on top of the school. Now, obviously, no one noticing the weird guy in black sitting on top of the
literally perched.
Perching,
right
yeah.
Perched.
Again.
Yeah.
Guys
then,
are nuts.
It's peculiar, right?
And then they've got that big rock formation behind them. Yeah.
And the school, it still looks like it's in really good shape. They must have built it well. And now Tommy's at the colonel's house. And this is just some kind of realtor who has possession of it at this point. And he just lets him in. He's like, and Tommy's like, do you have any children? He's like, nah. And we're just probably going to auction it off. Just make sure you lock up before you leave.
You do not need that.
He is a cop. So.
From Los Angeles.
You do not need a warrant.
But still, they're like, the guy's dead. You're a cop. We'll just let you in. It's a small town.
No one likes Hawthorne. He's
right.
known as a jerk.
Right. No one liked Hawthorne.
Yeah.
No one, because he's a jerk.
So Tommy's walking through the house, and for whatever reason, he looks under the bed. He finds this box of that.
What's in the box?
What's in the box? Oh. Evidence.
Yeah.
And he starts pulling out things. It's his uniform, whatever. Articles about the war.
Yeah, about Korean War. The Chosin Reservoir.
Mm-hmm.
And then court accuses Hawthorne of human sacrifice.
What's up, Jacob?
Alleged ritual killings of Chinese prisoners.
Allegedly.
It's funny.
Right.
Allegedly. And there's young Colonel Hawthorne. Look at him, strapping young lad.
Did you just say strapping young lad?
Don't get excited, Joker. And so evidence. I don't know why the Colonel has possession of this. That's neither here nor there.
Because he enjoys it.
He shows the movie and alleged cannibalism by U.S. troops at Chosin. That's funny. That's a funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Colonel enjoys it. It's like a work of his art to him.
See,
you have the Pikes here though, like the girl had in the
right. So that's what I'm saying is somebody did like atrocities while they were there. They took prisoners and impaled them, and some of these photos, like that photo, is a real picture of something that happened.
Hold it there, but yeah.
And
then Hawthorne's all dripping in blood here.
This is what it was kind of weird to me. They're like all got like chocolate rings around their mouth where they've been eating.
And then
flesh.
the camera goes down to this briefcase for reasons that no one knows. And Tommy looks over, and the briefcase is right next to him.
So when we get through this scene, I want to talk about some stuff. At the end of it,
Yep. So Tommy breaks off the lock, opens it up.
He's got crazy eyes.
Oh, did I not? Oh, there they are. There's human faces in there.
Can you go back? Can you go
and they're
back?
not like just normal faces. They're
to where he's standing. To where he's. You don't have the actual thing. So this is his court martial, right? So you keep going. If next slide. Okay, you can't really see it. The one where he's standing there. If you can see his rank.
I don't know if I have.
No,
I know what you're talking about.
There.
Yeah, like right there.
Okay, look. He's got oak leaves on, right?
He's lieutenant colonel.
Right. So how did he get promoted if he got accused? If he had to have been acquitted of this, otherwise he wouldn't have been promoted. If he would have been court-martialed, he would have not gotten promoted to colonel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, something like this, I mean, it would have been covered up.
Definitely.
Right. But unless they really needed him, even if they covered it up, they just would have quietly booted his ass out without him getting promoted to colonel. Right. So that's one issue. The second issue is if he's under investigation, nobody looked in that box and saw you had like human faces in there.
That's funny. What's in this box?
That he's carrying around when he's arrested.
It was camouflage, guys. He needed them so he could pass.
I mean, you could explain it away, but and if you're just a casual viewer, you wouldn't really notice it.
Those faces look of a more recent vintage than the war.
Okay.
Well, in 1951, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that's kind of creepy is they look like him, though. Whenever I looked at him, it looked like his own face, like people that.
It's hard to tell weird. With that. I assumed.
Oh, I thought they were Chinese.
Yeah, me too. I thought that they were Asian faces that he had taken as war trophies or whatever he was doing.
They seem. I got the impression that they said he was still like an active serial killer.
Oh, okay. But my point was, that's clearly an oak leaf, and then he's a colonel. So he must have gotten acquitted, and then they promoted him.
Well, maybe they never somebody who would cross the line.
Or unfortunately, the filmmakers had no idea what they were doing.
That's probably what it is.
Maybe that. But
come on, work with me here. So now Tommy's over in the church.
This is a good scene coming up here.
I love this scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's unusual. Oh, that's he's the faces.
So now the visions are starting to come through again. He's not
Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
It's unusual, man, of your young age to be in a church on a weeknight. It shows good character. and he says his name, and he's like,
now pause
me?
For a second. Pause. Think back to Highlander and the Kurgan and Connor in the church.
Yeah,
the layout is almost identical.
Oh, dude!
Very good.
Remember, Connor was arcing his head back to talk to the Kurgan and whatnot.
I think I really enjoyed this thing because you get to really see Gabriel sees himself as the good guy still.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
he's like, what am I doing wrong?
It kind of reminds me of the meme with the Nazi guys. Are we the bad guys?
What am I doing wrong? It's a bunch of monkeys.
And then
are we the baddies?
Also in this scene, Daggett like bows up on him. He's like,
well, Thomas asked him, what are you doing here? What do you want? And Gabriel's like, I'm looking for something. He's like, did you find it?
Not yet.
He says, I will.
And then he's like, what? Because, he's like, I'm a cop, so I'm going to tell this dude what to do. And then that's when Gabriel says his name, and he's like, how'd you know my name?
He's
like, just look like a...
Yeah, you look like...
When you were in the womb, I told you a secret, and I said... Or you know how you got that dent in your upper lip?
Mm-hmm.
When you were in the womb, I told you a secret, and I said...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great line.
Is this I'm trying to remember, this isn't the part where he tells him why he's doing what he's doing. That's later, right?
No, he doesn't tell him anything here. It's just kind of weird.
Right, okay.
Other than the part from the 23rd chapter or whatever, we really haven't gotten much of the story yet. You know what I mean?
We haven't.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking of
is like the third act.
Yeah.
Comes on later. Okay. The other question is, who paid for his headstone or not? Maybe he had insurance, like death insurance,
probably,
like in his will to pay for
it. They were talking about
definitely not VA.
Colonel
VA
Hawthorne
wouldn't make that kind of headstone.
They were talking about him earlier though in the movie, and they just said that he's just a quiet guy, nothing. But then they say something where it's like the silent ones are. I can't remember the exact quote.
It's always the quiet ones.
Yeah, it's always the quiet one. Or there's something.
Well, he basically is an old Caucasian with no family who lives alone, doesn't like people. I mean, it's all come on, serial killer. This is like broadcasting.
It's kind of like us. It's kind of like us.
Yeah,
and that I think that scene right there with him standing behind her is for the audience if they didn't get what was going on. They're
one now. And poor Mary's like, fuck this.
Makes my teeth hurt.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was like, I need to get back to my logs.
So now we're back at the school Taft. Fucking terrible.
And that was the other thing. I was like, a Taft Municipal? That's really old.
Yeah.
I love the horn of Gabriel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's blowing just a little bit. It's a very special horn.
Wow!
Boom!
Wow! You get a mint.
Very good.
Yeah, and he's using the mint to be able to look into their mouth.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got your mint? Go. Okay, next. Get out of here.
Yeah, I like this. If the kid comes up there, he's like, "What do you want? An autograph? Get out of here! Get out of here!"
And the other thing about that whole scene with Gabriel on the steps is how the kids are like enamored with him. It goes back to what Matt was saying is they have like some kind of aura.
Yeah, he's still broadcasting it.
Right.
And there's also a piece of scripture in the New Testament where Christ says, let the children come.
Right. Kids might have been this receptive to a stranger at school in like the 60s, maybe.
Yeah, now they're gonna fucking run.
Well, even in 95, even in 95, they would have had the stranger danger talk already.
Yeah, stranger danger. That's
yeah, that was big, in like the 70s and stuff.
More looking, and then Catherine comes up. He's like, fuck.
That Catherine.
So who's Mary? Is he a nice girl? Where is she?
Oh, hey, left eye. Our good friend Ego. I love Ego.
Okay. Nas.
So now Catherine comes up. She's like, "Hey, kids, get the fuck inside."
Okay, Nas. I stutter. I can't say anything 3 times fast. Okay, so
in this particular shot,
accepted.
Look, if you look at Christopher's hair, like you've probably seen the whole film, but you ever know like the slick back like feathers on the head of a bird, and look at the way he points his nose at. Walken is totally into this role, over the top into this,
I wanted to ask a question about
the
angels sniffing everything. Their heightened sense of smell. I mean, is that explained, or is there anything?
No.
Okay. Well, okay. So if you ever read all the apocryphal texts and all that sort of stuff, it isn't in the actual Bible. They do get associated with animals. This particular reference is to these particular angels being predatory birds. So they have the smell and taste sense of a bird, so to speak.
Okay.
If you like when he was looking for remember he was almost pecking at the table.
Yeah.
I kind of took it a little bit less like a predatory bird, more like a scavenger that smells death.
Vultures,
like turkey vulture. Yeah,
because I looked up the sense of smell of birds, and it said like vultures. Yeah, they have a heightened ones, but for the most part, most birds are just like normal, almost like humans. So the vulture part right there is kind of interesting.
Well, I just took it as we know that they're angels, and it's just a power that they have, and so I didn't worry about it. Like, oh, why can they smell stuff? I was just he can do it because it's an angel.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. But I was wondering if that kind of like represented or had any kind of connection with any kind of.
Well, if you ever if you ever get into the whole apocryphal text and all that, they're really cool reading it at least once. You'll and they all conflict with each other. It's not like there's one story that just been excised or whatever.
Right.
They all conflict with each other, but there are really some. And again, I haven't read the stuff since I was in my early 20s. But it's like really cool. Like I guess you would say Christian mythology at that point, since it's been expunged.
Right.
Yeah. Like you heard the Book of Enoch, right? For example, the Book of Enoch. If you ever watch Supernatural, that gets mentioned all the time.
Wait, there's a book about that stormtrooper guy that worked for Admiral Thrawn?
Yeah, not the same one, not the same guy.
Oh, about the smart Sleestack from Land of the Lost that could talk.
I'll accept that. I'll accept that.
Okay.
So the Catherine and poor Jerry's fucking sneezing his shit all over himself because he's fucking dying, and Gabriel's like ignore him, and Jerry's like everybody else does. And he comes up like real honor. He's like, you have no idea what's going on here.
Like, well, yeah, you're bothering kids like a creeper.
So she's driving through the town at this point to go back to Mary, and I didn't catch the thing, but she sees their car that my brain isn't working right now.
Jerry and Gabriel.
The Cadillac.
Yeah, Gary.
The Cadillac with the fucking no top.
Oh, right, parked at an abandoned mine.
Yeah, an abandoned mine. I didn't catch the slide, but yeah, that's when she's driving by, she sees that. And now you got Tommy out here talking to Mary and her grandmother, asking questions about Simon, what's going on. She's dressed inappropriately once more.
No, she's dressed just fine.
Well, that's perfect. Belly button. More belly button.
Roman, stop being
no teachers dressed like that. And he's like,
it's okay if this is her day off and she's not at school.
I think all her days are her day off, is what it seems like. And she's like, you don't tell him anything. You don't talk to anybody. And she's like, I was just answering questions.
If I had more teachers like that, I would have paid a lot more attention in school.
Yep.
Yeah.
Except I had nuns. They didn't dress like that.
Well, that's your own fault.
It's not. I didn't send myself to Catholic school.
I'm just saying, you had a choice.
No, I did not have a choice. You don't have a choice when you're a child. Anyway, so Tommy's asking her questions about, and he's like, she's like, he told me a secret. He's like, well, I'm a good friend of Simon too, so you can tell me the secret if you want to.
But then it's not a secret.
It's not a secret. You stupid fuck. Do you not know what a secret is? And this is where she does the thing. She tilts her head down, and it's weird. And she's like, Chinamen don't bleed like, or did you ever cut the head off a Chinaman? They don't bleed like we do. Or maybe it was the cold. On that day, we were colder than anyone. The rifles froze, but that was okay because we were fast. It was just like, she did a nice job of the line delivery.
Yeah.
And then she snaps out of it. And she's like, oh, Miss whatever the fuck your name is. It's cold.
I know this is maybe out of line, but I almost wanted them to go further. I felt like we could have had more of the whole
really dive it. Yeah, just really
being possessed and everything. It felt like it was on the they went further with the kiss. They should have gone like that far.
And I wish they had not.
Exactly.
So
same.
Right. But you mean she acting more like an adult and talking about like
doing Colonel Hawthorne things?
Colonel Hawthorne stuff, right? Like ordering people around and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Just like, even that, and like getting paying a little bit more attention to it and making that more of a serious thing, because skipping ahead when you get to the exorcism part, you're not really like, okay, there's not much emotion there to it. What with me? Yeah.
So now he's like, she needs to go see a doctor, and the lady's like, she's seen a doctor.
They didn't do nothing.
Right. And so she's gonna go off to I forget what the Native American name for it is, for the plateau that they're going to go to up.
It's a mesa, but it's called like something Sisters Mesa or
that's what I was thinking. It's got a name.
Yeah,
they're gonna take her up there. They're gonna do the ceremony to get the demon out of her.
It sounds like Three Sisters Mesa, but because in the
I know that ain't right. Yeah,
Southwest culture, the Three Sisters are corn, beans, and squash that they plant to rotate that's like the three pillars of their diet and how they keep the ground nurtured and stuff. They rotate the crops, and
it's the grandmothers,
right? But that's what they call it, the Three Sisters. Maybe it was something like that.
I was making a joke.
No, but it was something like that. Oh yeah.
This is where Thomas gives his good speech about angels, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, did you ever, what kind of being are these? God sends them to wipe out villages, kill children, all these things. Always, you're I forget the way he says it. It's something and one wing dipped in blood. Like, you're always being reverent, but one wing is dipped in blood. Would you ever want to actually see an angel? Something to that effect.
Right.
Because they're God's agents of doom.
Right.
They're the killers, the assassins.
Well, and this is also brought in. What was it? This is talked about, and just switching films or even genres really quick. This is something that Todd McFarlane talked about in his Spawn comics, where everyone assumes that demons are evil and they're the ones who kill and do whatnot. And as Todd said, you know, if you have one side that is, a certain guy from the National German Socialist the Workers' Party with Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun on one side, and Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, and Martin Luther King on the other side, who do you bet is going to win now in a fight? So neither side is. It's almost like they will take a soul just so the other team can't have them.
Oh, it's like eliminating their picks or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so in particular, this guy's soul, it's not. I'm trying to find a way to put it because his soul isn't a normal human soul. It's the best way to explain it. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the feeling that the way that they were talking to him is that he was going to turn. I thought that Daggett was going to turn out to be an angel. That didn't. No,
his soul is so evil it attracts other evil to it, and
not him, but Hawthorne. Yeah. Daggett is getting the prophecy from his vision.
Right, but I thought the reason he was having the visions and all that is that he was actually an angel, but just like somehow didn't know he was one.
No,
he forgot it.
He's a martyr, which is a prophet born after Christ. So he's basically being given the visions of a prophet, but he's not accepting of them. Which is, like he first got them when he was ordained, right? So and his cognitive dissonance was like, wait a minute, I've just been taught all this stuff that God is good and angels love people and blah blah blah. And in my head, I'm seeing this horrible war in heaven where they're just mass murdering each other. So it turned it away from his faith because he didn't believe. He couldn't know cognitive, which one.
Right, because it shows that the angels were not. They were just like people, and they weren't righteous after all. They were just like people fighting each other.
Yeah. It's pretty brutal up there,
And so at this point, he's like, I need to know where Gabriel is, and Catherine's like, I know where he is because she saw the car on the way in. So now they're going to the abandoned mine, which is where the car was parked. Sorry, I didn't get that screenshot. And they go into the mine, dark, 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 dark. They go into this big cavern. And clearly they've been in there. I think Jerry has to eat a lot of sugar to keep moving, is what I get from this.
Is this where we forget the first big scene of what's going on in heaven?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They see the angelic writing on the wall.
Yeah,
and
he's like, this is angelic script.
And
then he touches it.
Yeah, and starts to move.
As soon as he touches it, everything changes. The fire lights up, and she's like, Thomas. And everything goes all fucko. Now you get the image of the angel rising. And
which was very awesome.
Oh, this was great.
This scene is so cool. Yeah.
And this is his profitability basically activating.
And you can see, and she sees it too, though. It's not just him. She sees it too.
Well, he's enabling
it. You look out and there's this field of dead angels on spikes and the screaming, and there's a great light in the background. You can see it on the tower there, on the mountain or whatever the fuck it is. Which I assume that's the power of God.
Yeah.
But overall, under all that is this dead field of angels. Just terrible. And he throws the lamp on the wall. He's like, no, because I don't know why the fuck that ends it, but whatever it does. And now we're back to here, and there's that big mesa that they're all heading to.
Beautiful shot.
Oh, this is where we had the conversation. He's after something, and I don't know why this takes so long to get to this point where he's after Mary. Okay, fuck, we all know that.
Yeah, and the location with the little village that they're headed to is called Old Woman's Butte.
Old
Woman Butte, yeah.
So they go into Grandma's trailer, and the car's outside. Surprisingly,
hey,
but
how you doing?
It's not crazy. And he's perched in there talking to Mary. I don't know why he's talking to her. I guess because Crypt tells you he has to.
Right, because
instead of just going in and ripping her apart.
Right.
Because they don't want to attract God's attention.
Soul, I wonder the same way. Is that why? Because he could. You would think he could extract the soul the same way it was implanted, right?
He has to do it without God noticing it.
How would you
do that? The end. Think of the end.
How
it ended? God noticed the soul.
Oh, that's right. He would notice.
Okay.
Yeah.
He would know. Okay, I get it. And he's like, I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt her. I'm just going to rip her in half. And
Just gonna give her a
Walken
little
gives
kiss like Simon did.
Hey, Corey.
Hey, Cajun. Hey, welcome. Not Cajun. I'm sorry. Other Corey. Different Corey. I apologize. I have a lot of Corys in my life. This is where he yells at Catherine, though.
Okay. There is one thing that I caught. It was in an earlier scene where or was it in this scene where Gabriel tells someone what this little
that was in the church.
Yeah, that was in the church with
that was the shush. Yeah. We got that.
Yeah.
So right here he tells he's yelling at Mary saying, or not Mary, yelling at Catherine saying, I'm an angel. I come and I kill babies at night. I turn villages to salt, and you will always wonder why. It's like,
and right, but the one real truth of the universe is you always wonder why, and you'll never know.
Right.
Yeah,
is what he says. Yeah.
So back and forth. A lot of throwing around. Very lovely. Thomas gets the beat on him here, and he shoots Jerry.
Oh, no. And he's happy.
Like 5 times in the chest, and Jerry's like, "Thanks,
sport.
man. You're a sport." I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, "Thanks, man." And his mouth
shoots
is
him
all
in the head.
jacked up. Yeah.
Boom.
And as somebody who notices gun faux pas in films all the time and they annoy me, I appreciate that they keep count of the rounds fired and show a reload with a speed loader. I love it.
With a speed loader, which I don't know where he got that from out his back pocket or something, because I didn't see he had a holster.
So. Actually, I didn't even see that Thomas was carrying a gun because he's wearing chinos and a fucking
exactly what I'm saying. Like he's got that, in like the small of his back or something.
It's his 90s regular guy outfit. I don't wear fucking clothes like that as a regular guy.
It looks like a small 38, but
yeah, it does.
A speed loader is kind of bulky. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like a couple of bullets on your belt.
But now he's going after the girl, and she grabs the gun.
But you got to remember, at this point, I don't think it's the girl. It's Hawthorne.
This is Colonel Hawthorne.
Yeah,
which is why she would have control of the weapon.
Right. It's Colonel Hawthorne.
Boom.
Yeah.
Good stuff. He throws. Go ahead. Go.
It just got me thinking, like, how interesting would it be if, I'm not saying like a whole movie, but a portion of this was her walking around as a little girl, but then Hawthorne is like controlling her, so she's doing like all kinds of like wild
other
stuff.
Horror movie, the whole other horror movie.
You know what I mean? Like
because she's just Hawthorne is just in control of the girl.
Right. So she's like
the girl's walking around talking like that. That would have been way more.
Right. Yeah. Walking into a shop and being like, I want a Uzi 9mm plasma rifle in a 40-watt range. And they're like, what's this little girl talking about? And then, and then she just starts like putting caps on everybody.
I'm the girl in ATO 1000.
Yeah.
And I need more cowbell.
So, Christopher Walken's heading towards him. I didn't like the way this was filmed. This was filmed very 90s, and because it's cut. So you will not take her, and then she shoots. It's literally broken up like that until she shoots and everything blows up. At this point in my life, I find that bothersome. Only because I've probably seen it so many fucking times before. In Alien specifically.
Yeah.
And then she blows up the whole fucking thing, and there's
Stormtrooper aim.
Gabriel's body. The poor trailer is gone. I don't know what happened to the old woman. And now we're at cops. Cops on the scene.
Right.
Arizona cops. It says it over here.
You have to cuff them.
And they're
you have to cuff them.
You can tell this is the 90s because they started using revolvers as their sidearm.
And I like how she just like yells at them, like, put it in cuff, and then they just do it. It's like, sure, whatever.
Just do it, Bob.
Really,
yeah.
And this is where Mary tells him they on this here they are not immortal, but they're not like us. You have to cut out their heart to kill them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gleaned that through whatever the fuck.
Well, the general doesn't want to be enslaved by the angels either.
And then
he's in the back of the car.
This I loved. This I loved.
He winked.
The wink. I'm just like, I'm like, ooh.
I didn't catch the wink. I apologize, but yeah, he winks at him like he's like, yeah, you're still fucked. You're still fucked. Which is good. And now they all pile in the truck like a bunch of fucking hobos, whatever, and they're driving down the road. And then they start seeing bits of the fucking cop car.
Oh, this is not good.
Yeah.
And the dead cops and this and Catherine turns to Thomas because she's like,
again, small detail. Look at the claw marks on the door.
Oh yeah,
that's good stuff. And she's like, "What should I do?" Basically, without saying it, and he's like, "Go, just keep going." So now they're going up to what was it? Old Woman's Bluff?
Old Woman Butte.
Whatever. Bluff, Butte. Those are your fucking words. So anyway, so they're up here. It's basically like a res on top of a butte.
I like how that one clip was rated PG. 15.
Here, so all the Native Americans are gathered around, and Mary's like, and she gives the Colonel Hawthorne part again though, which is really nice. She's like, basically, this place has its own water supply. It's only one way in.
Hawthorne is pretty much in the pilot seat right now.
Right.
If you had the proper defenses, you could hold a whole battalion off. And Thomas is like, all right, okay, you're fucking killing me in my hairpiece. And so they got this weird little hut thing. I don't even know what this is.
It's a bad representation of a kiva, which the door should be on the roof, with the only way in through the ladder. Also, these Daggett, maybe the teacher if she is Native American, but Daggett, he would just be walking in and out of that place. Yeah. Well, they might make some exceptions for him, but he wouldn't just be rolling up in there. He'd have to, you know what I mean? It'd have to be very respectful. It's a sacred place, and there wouldn't be this much light in there either.
Again, they know he's not a normal person, though. That's one of those details that you just.
Well, also, it's not a normal circumstance either. So
yeah, he's a witness to events. He eventually writes them down.
So what they say in this though is they're trying to basically expel the what do they say, the invader ghost? What do they call
invasive evil spirit?
Something ghost.
They called it an enemy ghost or something like
enemy
that.
Ghost.
Enemy ghost. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
And okay,
so
I love this part. I love this part.
But my question: if Gabriel can't drive, how do you get here?
He could have.
I think. No, I think he's an angel. I think he can drive. He just doesn't want to.
No, I don't think he can drive. I don't think he has any idea how machines work.
Well, what was he going to drive? He ripped the car apart.
Yeah.
I mean, they were taking him back to town anyway, so I assume he would have been close enough to continue to walk back.
That's true. It probably he could have kept walking.
Although when they did do there's two dead cops, they're just like, let's just keep going.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Or they're
so
wounded,
now he's
maybe
at a hospital near something, wherever the fuck he ripped the car apart.
Yeah, maybe those cops.
And he's like, "Excuse me, miss." He's got fucking holes all in him. I need to go see, your ICU ward.
Yeah, he's got a bloody shirt on with some bullet holes, and she doesn't even say anything about it.
Again, but that's probably because of what his power is, right?
Yeah,
that would be the only thing.
Yeah, that'd be the only explanation. Yeah.
And he basically puts her to sleep. And he goes in the ICU. And he starts throwing charts around. Oh, fuck, you're going to get better. You're going to get better. Fuck this. Not expected to survive. This was a great performance by Amanda Plummer because this was really also very off-putting. He's looking and she starts to go and then she flatlines. And when she does, he's like, wait, come back. Come on.
Like, hold on, just
Come
a
back.
second. You can't get out of this party
A little
yet.
bit. Come
And she
back.
starts
And she's
foaming
she's
and
sniffling.
No,
Shit comes out of her nose and everything. And she's like, no, 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 no.
Because she saw the light.
Yeah, she was going, which is weird though, because heaven's closed.
Well,
I think that's a lie.
It's not that she's going. So he got her before Michael grabbed her. So
is that the difference? Okay.
In Catholicism, Angel Michael comes to escort all your souls to heaven, basically. He's to protect them or whatever. Overly simplifying it. So whatever she saw, she was free from her pain.
Way better than this.
And then she comes back and she's like, no, not this, not yeah.
And so she does a really nice job with a fucking no. And he's like, stop that. I don't like it. This is only for a little while, I promise. I also like the detail with the fingernails. Every time you see them, the angels, their fingernails are dark. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh,
I fucking love this.
Wow. My favorite part of the movie.
And the way the scene plays through is really nice because she's just
actually my favorite.
And you don't necessarily even notice that in the background.
Yeah.
And then this is
the best
image.
My favorite character in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And then he calls her. He's like, Catherine. And then she turns and she sees him. He's like, we need to talk. And she's like, no. He's like, I can lay you out and fill your mouth with your mother's feces, or we can talk.
Wow. Very specific threat.
It is. It's pretty specific. And it's interesting though, because the things he talks about actually, so now growl. As he growled,
I really liked that little bit of detail about him growling. Because in the Bible, he's referred to as a roaring lion waiting to pounce on someone to devour them.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he goes into the whole thing where he's like, she's like, are you an angel? She's like, and he's like, no, angels are about love. I don't love you. And how he's like, I see how this whole thing ends. He's like, if Gabriel wins, heaven will just be another hell. And he's like, I'm not doing to save you, but that's my problem is that's one hell too many. And his delivery of the lines are so
it's butter.
Well, I think the exact thing he says is 2 hells or 1 hell too many. Which I really dug that. Good play on words.
Oh.
And Vigo, just his voice in this is just butter. Just
and he also tells her he's talking about how heaven's been since the war began, heaven's been closed.
Right.
All the souls are just rotting in the earth, all the time. But while heaven is closed, I am always open. Even on Christmas.
I'm kind of like 7-Eleven. I'm not always doing business, but I'm always open.
and that's interesting theologically, because in Catholicism you have to choose to go to hell. You don't get condemned to hell. You reject God, basically.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you reject God's judgment, that's where hell is. Hell is the farthest place away to be from God. That's the definition of it.
I don't know what the purpose of that scene with the rose was.
But just comps into it though.
Well, I can't help but think because Vigo tends to pour himself so into whatever role
he just did it.
That he just did it.
Could be.
Yeah, I think that's
my head canon.
He's peeling the leaves off until he gets down to the
and he's like, "What can I do?"
And he takes a big chomp out of it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Otherwise, you just have to hold it, and then throughout the rest of the scene, he'd have it in his hand, looking weird.
Yeah,
he's like, I'll just eat this.
Whedon was probably like, "Did we get that on camera? Did we get that on camera?"
Yeah, right. And he's like, so do we have a deal? And then she goes to Tommy, and she's like, "I saw the devil tonight." And this isn't she doesn't do a good job with this though, because basically it's dead here. I saw the devil tonight, guys. I need to take a couple minute break, so just kind of talk amongst yourselves for a couple minutes. I'm sorry, I have to do this. Otherwise, I'm going to get in trouble, but I'll be right back.
Party
time! It's not even that. I wish it was just that. So give me like 5 to 7 minutes and I'll be back. Hopefully just 5.
So 3 seconds, see a giant spider just take over the room and show.
so under and in this film, I kind of laughed at just the nonchalantness of this. It's like,
yeah.
So I saw the devil tonight, which which under normal circumstances would be a conversation starter. Here, it's just that tracks. Okay.
Well, there's a movie called with Johnny Depp called Nine Gates.
Oh yeah, The Ninth Gate.
The Ninth Gate.
Yeah,
good film. Johnny Depp's character that's exactly how he plays the whole the role, very nonchalant, like he's all these stunning things are happening, and he's just like nonchalantly, and in the end of it, just nonchalantly does what he does at the end of it,
Well, that's because he's like an evil guy, though. You know what I mean? Well, not going into that in the movie.
He's the only person in the movie. That's no question on that.
Yeah.
Right. It's just funny. Like we think oh, Gabriel's like a big baddie, and it's just like nah. The real big baddie showed up, and Gabriel has now.
But the way that Lucifer frames it
yes.
is that he's actually going to be the good guy here.
I'm impartial.
Right. Exactly. He's helping humanity because it benefits him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There was no love in this. There was no altruism. This is not for humanity. This is not for anything else. This is because because this war in heaven doesn't serve me well.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And the thing I mentioned about choosing to go to hell, I mentioned that because think of the final scene with Lucifer in this movie.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think we've gotten to the part yet of where Gabriel explains his non-contact with God and how that is really the crux of this whole thing. Yeah.
That'll be between Thomas and Gabriel. And I also want to mention Doubting Thomas, if no one knows who that is.
Yep. Doubting Thomas. Yep. My middle name.
Yeah. So the other thing about this location that they're like staying in these little adobe huts and stuff, but there's also some walls, that like ruined walls. And I think they're trying to, in some Native American Pueblo cultures had like actual like big, 5-story buildings and stuff made out of stone, but that civilization collapsed. And so that's why you have these ruins. Like there's this big place in
what were they?
The Chaco Canyon people in New Mexico. It's called Chaco Canyon.
I remember that.
And it had a giant, it was 5 stories tall in places.
There's no evidence of what caused them to disappear. I mean, they were probably just wiped out by some other local tribe or whatever. But
I think they collapsed because they had like road networks and stuff, but the leaders started getting more and more cruel. And like there's hints of cannibalism, maybe things like that. It's not really proven.
I don't want to say it was rampant in American Indian cultures, but it was. I mean, a lot of ancient world, like not just American Indians, had cannibalism.
Right.
But it was more commonly cannibalism was way more common in the ancient world than we like to believe.
Right, but
all over, not just American Indians.
They think that the culture collapsed because the ruling elite became like cruel, or people rose up against them, and it like fractured their society. And because you had to have certain trade networks and stuff for something that large to function, everybody just fractured and dispersed to like tribes in smaller locales. But the main Chaco Canyon complex had all these outlying complexes and then road networks with giant trade net. So they had like feathers from Central America, copper bells from the Aztecs, things that they did not have in that locale. They found there through trade. But anyway, so where these people are at, I think I'm obvious positive it's a set, but it's really done well with the way that the ruins are and stuff. And there are actually quite a few locations like that throughout the Southwest.
So Gregory Widen was a UCLA film student, if I remember correctly. So he probably did a lot of this stuff, like knew the local area well enough to do a lot of set work out there.
Right, because there's a bunch of different sites. There's one called Montezuma's Castle, which is a misnomer. That's not what the locals called it. That's what the conquistadors thought it was when they went and first found it. They thought that people from Central America were the only ones that could have built something so nice and elaborate. And then there's Mesa Verde, which is
there's tons and tons. Like if you look, they're discovering with satellites now that the Amazon has a period where it was like not rainforest, and there's thousands of like temples and buildings.
Right, I understand that, but the reason it's called Montezuma's Castle is because the conquistadors who found the place thought that only Central American, like Mayan, Aztec culture could have been advanced enough to build it, which is why it has that misnomer name. I don't know what the native name for it was. And then Mesa Verde is another one that, but here's the thing, all these places when they were found, most of them were abandoned. So they couldn't maintain them because there was some type of collapse. They think it was like a giant drought or something that lasted for like 100 years that wouldn't allow enough crops to be grown in order for them to maintain the populations in those centers. So
weird, accepted. So sorry, I'm back. So now Thomas is outside and he's like, hey, if you have something to say, why can't you say it to me? And so he explains to Catherine that, you know, when he'd had a voice all his life in his head, you know, telling him to go to his God, to become a priest. And then when he needed that voice the most, it left him. So Matt,
so it's not,
I don't quite get that.
It's that he okay, so a martyr is a prophet.
It's just that he didn't understand it anymore?
No. He was so shocked by the visions he was given at his ordination that he
shut it off?
He stopped listening.
He closed it off.
And now he's been starting to listen again. So that's why he could make that vision happen with the Enochian runes, or why he could the other thing he did, he did something else too, I don't remember. Why he's also being guided where he is, you know, the voice is pushing him, so to speak. And that's why the conversation between him and Gabriel is pretty interesting after Lucifer gives him a little clue.
And he says nothing's going to happen. I won't let anything happen to Mary. And then he gives her an awkward hug, which I didn't appreciate. And then
they were trying to play the like that they're going to be a thing.
I didn't like that. So now we see Rachel.
He did hear into his vows of celibacy. He never dated or anything after he left.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Did he?
He is a priest. He is a priest. He's fully ordained. He just left the priesthood.
Well, no, he didn't get the ordination, though. He didn't get the blessing of the bishop.
But he took the vows. Once you take the vows,
he took the vows. He didn't do the final bit. That's that when the
ceremony.
Prostrate, not prostate. That's what that whole thing's about. You do something very similar when you're going through confirmation.
Yeah.
For those of us who have done.
Oh, really? That must not be a Protestant thing then, because that must.
The Catholics we have our own.
I don't remember laying on the ground when I did mine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I just, that's not.
I had to wash people's feet for mine.
Really, I just gave a speech.
Yeah, we don't do that.
I was like 9, had to wear a stupid pinstripe brown suit.
I was like 15 or something.
I was 35.
When
I got confirmed.
Lord.
Oh, I love this scene. This might be my favorite 35 seconds in the whole movie.
Oh, it's so good.
This is a classic scene.
Yeah, so they're in a diner with Gabriel and Rachel because Gabriel doesn't know where to go. Vex! Next week, Vex. Next week, you're back.
Yes!
The Scissor Trio!
Bring in the Vex back.
She has a look where she definitely needs more cowbell.
Yeah, she's not looking good.
I like how they got her in a diner again, though.
Yeah.
But she's still. Oh yeah.
Well, again, this is another scene where you could have like had a whole kind of movie off of it, like him and what's his name in the car.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah.
That's because Christopher Walken and both these co-stars. What is his name?
Goldberg.
Jerry. Adam Goldberg, and then Amanda Plummer. They're both such good actors doing these parts. They're fucking brilliant. With Walken, who is, Christopher Walken.
Right. I want to see like a LA to Vegas road trip or something with them.
Yeah.
And they've got like, they got like
Adventures.
12 hours to get there to deliver a package, or they're all going to die or something, and then they've got to like.
Jerry, do you want to play a word game? Please stop talking to me, Gabriel.
There is more of that in the sequels. Like I said, the reason to watch it is Christopher Walken as Gabriel. Like, there's more of him doing this weird stuff in the sequel.
This is just so Walken. This is just
he calls the waitress over, Marge, and he's like, "Excuse me, miss. Could you tell me how to get to, whatever the fuck it is? What is it, Old Woman Butte or whatever?"
Right, yeah. Old Lady Butte or what some.
And she gives him some directions, and she's not quite specific. And she asks, does your friend want something to eat? And he looks at her, and he's like, no. Sadly, no. And he's like, could you be just a tad more specific with you? And he's trying to get a Southern accent, which is mildly amusing.
Yeah, which is weird because they don't have that in Arizona. They don't have Southern accents.
No, they do not.
No. No,
this scene also, I almost felt like it was giving me like an Anton Chigurh kind of feel from No Country for Old Men. Yeah, like we're gonna do some crazy stuff.
Like if Gabriel flips the coin, he's gonna do
right. Yeah, it was something like that where like she's almost in danger of dying. She just doesn't realize it.
And I think she's getting the vibe though.
Right.
I do.
Well, and she's also she's used to dealing with like truckers and stuff, so she doesn't put up with any crap. You can see it on her face.
Right.
And she's wearing like a 1970s diner uniform too.
She's definitely hardened.
Well, yeah. I mean, because most folks, if you see a guy with blood and holes in him and a gal sitting next to him in a gown still,
it's going to be like peculiar.
And just to point out, the back of that gown is probably open.
Right.
Yeah.
So
of course.
I
didn't think about that.
Again, much like when Catherine said, I talked to I saw the devil. In any other setting, that would be weird, but for her, this is probably just like, all right, fine. Whatever.
Especially if this was 2023. Oh, someone in a gown walking in with no shoes on? Nah. Not weird at all.
Their butt hanging out, sure.
She's not looking good.
She just looks like, just kill me, please. Kill me, please.
Well, and so Christopher Walken gets the directions and he tells her it's time to go, and she says no.
No.
And he's like, come on. And she's like, no. And he's like, you could sit in this rotting meat suit for all eternity. I have patience. I can wait. I can watch stars burn out. Or you can hang out with me one more day. And it's just really matter of fucking fact. And I love that delivery. Yep. I fucking love it. It's so good.
Because again, we are talking about beings that operate outside of time.
Yeah, he can sit there. I have time.
Yeah, and
then she's like,
that threat makes me think that Jerry earlier wasn't doing things because he was kind of controlled or anything. He was threatened with forever survival.
Yes.
Yeah,
that makes sense. And so he throws the money down on the counter. He's like, I don't expect I'll be seeing you anytime soon. And she's like, suits me just fine.
Not.
Just fine.
And here we got fucking Tommy in his chinos and his fucking light blue shirt, which annoys the fuck out of me. I don't know why it bothered me, but it does. Setting up a trap. And here we have
Lucifer.
another
Again,
brilliant Lucifer scene.
Yeah.
Every scene he is in is just gold.
This is where he's like, "I will make you warlord of all Greece."
It's like
Tommy Daggett, and he's like, I loved hearing you say your prayers at night, and then you hopped right into your bed because you were afraid I was under it, and I was. It was just
gold.
So good, so good. And what I loved about this was that while he wasn't actually doing anything to overpower Daggett, he obviously was. I think it was just his presence was crushing. The presence of Lucifer touching him physically was just more than he could handle.
Well, I mean, also, Lucifer knows he's a martyr, so he's manipulating him to basically end game Gabriel, so to speak.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Go.
So it's. I mean, I know I keep harping on the later films. Like when you rewatch these, it's like reading books like Wheel of Time. Go back in the beginning again and see anything you didn't see before. Like the manipulation here that Lucifer is doing is like A level. You know what I mean? Like he knows this. He knows this is a primed weapon from God right here. Like in Supernatural, how they had the Colt and the special bullets. This is a special bullet, right? And he's aiming him right at Gabriel because he knows if things work out just right, that soul will get what happens to it, and there won't be another hell in heaven, so to speak. Hell in heaven. Yeah.
Yep.
You know.
And his talk to him here is just brilliant. He's like, I know what it's like to be cut off from God more than anyone, just like you do. So what does that mean to an angel like Gabriel?
Yeah.
And he makes him think. He's like, use it. And Tommy finally gets around to him. He's like, faith. He's like, use it. And then off he goes. But again, I love the look of this too. The slick back hair, the darkened nails, the slightly pale complexion. Just so fucking good. Very subtle stuff, but very nice.
The difference between Lucifer and Gabriel is Lucifer can hear God, he's not listening. Gabriel can't even hear God because he's choosing not. Like it's like how you can if you want to ignore your relatives, you can put a headset on and they can chirp in the other room. Like that's what Gabriel's doing.
I just make them leave.
Well, yeah, that too. But that's kind of what Gabriel is doing. He's like keeping it out, whereas Lucifer's listening but saying, basically.
Mm-hmm. I love the embrace that he has here too. It kind of gives me vibes of La Piñata.
Look at him.
La Pieta. Sorry, La Pieta.
So and I like the fact that when that just Tommy because he was around Simon and he's around Gabriel and he's he's like this, but now you're in the presence of the devil and it's just like this weight.
It's a whole fucking game. Yes, it is. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
Almost like a physical weight on him, like he's just wearing this thing.
Yeah.
And then when he leaves, look at the face he makes. He does a really good job with this. I know I poke fun at this actor, but he did this scene with Lucifer so well. From the time Lucifer comes on the scene and grabs him.
He's not a great actor. He's just not a bad. He's an okay actor. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe he does so well. The best out of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just watching this interaction with Vigo, he collapses under the weight of Lucifer.
Well, he's in a scene with Vigo.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
but his expressions though are so good. He doesn't say a word. Or barely says a word.
Right.
And then he's gone. And look at that when he's released. It's like it's just it is. It's you really get that it is. Now. So the devil just had his fucking hands on me. That's what that is. And now we're back up at the Mesa, and it looks. These are really nice shots of the Mesa, by the way.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And now we're back down with the Native American folk, and they're getting ready to do the fucking get the devil out ceremony. Okay. I don't really. He's walking along the road. He finds some licorice. He licks it.
I thought it was her hair beret.
Yes.
Is it a beret?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Plastic. It did look like licorice.
Right.
you know, and that's probably what he really put in his mouth.
Right.
I too
exactly.
love licorice.
But you know,
and it probably wasn't on the road when he did it, put it in his mouth. You know?
No,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, but she already gave him fucking direction, so I don't know why that was a big deal. And now Rachel's up there, or Catherine. They're coming.
Dramatic.
You can see the cars.
Right. He's coming. Really?
He goes back in, checks on the ceremony. This dude in the black says, "Yeah, this shit ain't going well." Yeah, that look says shit ain't going well. And he's like, "Go inside, lock the door. There's a gun. There's one fucking bullet in it."
How
This ain't much of a door, by the way.
And how do you lock that?
Yeah, like how do you lock that?
yeah, he just said it. And
Well, if you look, she does turn around and like flip a little piece of
There's
wood.
probably
down
some
or
kind of
something.
wooden latch or something.
It's more like barring the door.
What are you doing here? Did you just wander in by the? No, I'm not going to watch the fucking video, Flaccid. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But thank you for coming. And so now Tommy's getting ready to set up his fucking trap.
His Home Alone trap.
Right.
Yeah.
Another great little scene there.
I feel bad for Amanda Plummer. She's only in this movie for like 5 fucking minutes, but she did a really nice job with it.
Right.
Yep.
Driving along, and he pulls the chain up. I don't even know how. I mean, quite honestly, I don't think this probably would have worked, but it does in the movie because it's a movie.
well,
And
it might have worked, but that other truck would have flipped around and
Right.
The Cadillac flips over, and he picks up this wooden stick because he didn't plan very well, and he starts trying to pummel Gabriel with it, but it doesn't work very well. So they end up having a conversation, which is what Lucifer planted in his head about faith. And he's like, if you had this question about why God loved man better, why didn't you just ask God? And Gabriel said, he doesn't talk to me anymore. And he walks off. And
I do really like right before he starts to, like, he's about to be killed, and right before that he starts to talk, and Gabriel in a very Christopher Walken way goes, "Make it good."
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Great
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
It's like he's used to people begging for their lives, and he doesn't really care, but he's going to let it play out.
Make it good. Yeah. And that's where he ends up though, is if you had this problem, because he talks about the war. He's like, this war isn't about us. This war is about jealousy. And he keeps going on and on. And ultimately it ends up with, if you just had this problem, why didn't you just talk to him? Why didn't you ask God? And he's like, God doesn't talk to me anymore. And that was very telling and sad.
Yeah.
I mean, because we all think, I'm wearing a St. Michael shirt tonight, but we all have this vision of Gabriel as kind of being the boss of the angels.
Mm-hmm.
And God doesn't talk to him anymore because he's on this.
Well, no, it's not that he's not listening.
He won't hear him. Won't hear him.
I mean, I hate spoiling it, but when he does start listening again, it's an amazing kind of moment. You know what I mean? So.
Nadia's here. Hey, Nadia. Welcome.
For the Empire? Well, I'm sorry to say, dear, I just checked the Nielsen charts, and Anakin didn't even save this.
If she's saying for the Emperor, well, then we're talking. Then we're talking 40K, and then that's acceptable.
Okay.
Look, Roman to the Empire, baby. That's the only empire you need to worry about. So, Anakin. So Gabriel walks away. Tommy hops in a truck, and Gabriel's walking, and the ceremony's still going outside. And he yells, "Gabriel!"
Go back 2 panels. That is a facial expression very few actors like Christopher Walken can pull off.
Yeah.
Like some actors will do that, and you just kind of laugh at them,
Determination.
like are they constipated or whatever? You know what I mean? It's
nope. Yeah, he's on his way to do something important.
Yeah, Flaccid.
God damn it, Flaccid. No, Flaccid, no. And where have you been all this time? I keep wondering what's happened to you. I'm very curious, and I'm concerned about you, flaccid. So we have Christopher Walken.
There's a doorbell.
Is that me? I don't think so. I'm in the fucking garage of the Empire.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say, you have a doorbell on your garage?
I do not. So we have the native. Sorry, I almost went dot feather. The Native American girl is doing the ceremony, and he yells, "Gabriel!" He's driving the truck up, and then Amanda Plummer, who can't control herself, Rachel, she jumps through the back window, and while she's doing this, she's yelling, "Kill me! Kill me!" And she's trying to strangle him because she doesn't want to do it. And he comes in to the little hut here, and
go to hell.
Wrong direction. Go to hell. Boom. At least I love this.
At least get the area code right.
Yeah, he's like,
that was about love. Dear. It's about love. So what do you love, Gabriel? Cracking your skull.
Crushing your skull. And he grabs on, does a nice job. And poor Rachel's still trying to strangle Tommy, despite the fact she doesn't want to. And truck crashes through. Hilarity ensues. He doesn't kill Rachel, which is just completely by accident.
Plot armor.
Rachel. What's her fucking name? Catherine.
Rachel died.
But Rachel does die. Blurry frame. Sorry about that. Hot. And now,
what got me was about this truck crashes through, and all of the old women are just sitting.
Everybody else is fine.
I've seen some stuff in my day.
This tracks. It's fine. It tracks. It's fine.
Another truck through the hut. Oh, it happens all the time.
It was worse last week when those other angels fought in our hut.
Smacking Gabriel in the face, though. Basically,
good form. Really good form. Saying.
Basically telling him the same shit. You don't have a soul. I have a soul.
Home.
Fuck off. You're gonna die. Go home, Gabriel. Go home. Hit.
Party's over, bro.
Hit. And then the hand comes up, and this is a little bit blurry, but grabs the tire iron and makes him stop.
And then just more butter. Just
and then man, I am just melting here. I'm a fucking lobster underneath it. And the Indians are like, fuck.
You know what? In that moment there, you could say that I would do Vigo and not be gay. No.
Accepted.
Heard it here.
Well, we go back to what he was talking to Catherine about earlier, though. He's like, I want to open heaven. I want to let all the souls up there. That's where we are. He's playing the good guy because he's the fucking devil and that's his job. I want to let the souls back up in heaven. That's all I want to do. And he stops Tommy from killing him because that ain't his fucking business. That's angel business.
Right. Well, and killing him right then and there wouldn't actually solve the problem because he tells the people to keep going in their own language.
Right.
Yes, so he goes up, he licks the wound. You see his tongue up here, licking the wound on his head. This is creepy as fuck. Vigo does such a good job of this. Also, what he said about the scene was that Christopher Walken ate several cloves of garlic before he did the scene. So that when you see Vigo's face look a little disgusted, that's why. Because he's responding to Christopher Walken's breath.
That's hilarious.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, and this line here, when he's like, it's time to stop the war. My war is just. Your war is arrogance. That makes it evil. That's mine. And I'm like,
it's so well delivered, right?
Damn,
so well delivered. That's mine.
It's
and he basically just gives him the look. And it's just like,
let me go back because he tells Gabriel, it's time to come home, as in now with me. And then he's like, my war is just. Your war is arrogance. Your war is arrogance. That makes it evil. And that is mine.
And the delivery of those lines, Viggo Mortensen for his, what is it, 20 minutes in this movie at best?
10 seconds.
Is fucking
amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah. It's,
just
I mean,
gold,
just to make a comparison,
man.
it's like Tombstone with Doc Holliday. Like every single time Doc Holliday is on the screen, you're just like, oh, it's perfection.
Yeah, you're just enthralled by him.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And then he does this.
That is definitely my doorbell. I'll be back.
Is someone getting a food?
No, it's probably for one of my neighbors. Like someone drinking for them. I'll be back.
I like food. So then he basically he punches out his fucking heart,
and then he starts to chew.
And or actually, before he does that, though, he's right. Satan, Lucifer said the words. He turns to the Native American population, and he says things which I can't say because I don't fucking know the language. And they all basically to carry on doing what you're doing, get rid of the evil spirit. And then he rips into the heart. Oh my God, the rest of this is just fucking 15 minutes of just brilliance.
You see the angels.
You see this. I love this so much.
Yeah.
The angels, you see the angels flying over through the light of heaven. It's just so good. While this is all carrying out, it's just so fucking brilliant. His heart is ripped out. And Lucifer, this is where Lucifer gets weird, man, and I love it. So now this was a nice effect. Yep. I know it's not modern CGI, but I think it still plays out very well. I think they did a good job with this.
Did really well, yeah.
I think for 95 it was just fine because
her face blows up. They do a good job with this. Whatever they did here to make her face blow up while the evil ghost was leaving.
Right. This reminded me of like Life Force from '85, and then later some of the stuff reminded me of the Golden Child, like at the end when the guy when Sodom Numsi turned into the demon and was like flying around and stuff.
Gotcha.
And now she looks normal again. She looks horrified because she's like, oh my God,
that was inside me.
Yeah.
And then you have the demon ghost. You have this, and it's a kind of formless thing, which is fine. You do see kind of Colonel Hawthorne's face in there a little bit. I didn't get that very well.
Yeah, and it's obviously a stop motion thing, but it still looks good, especially when you consider
I thought the effect
$2.3 million for the entire film, and I actually saw this while we were talking. It was actually filmed in '93 and not released in '95, so it's even older special effects.
Right.
Still looks
the
great.
fact of the matter is despite the effects limitations, which I don't mind.
Yeah.
The whole story with the effects, you're like, you know what, this is fine. I don't mind this at all.
Yeah.
The heaven opening up, the demon angel getting blasted out by the
the light of God,
essentially.
Right.
And then you're back to Gabriel. I love how the continuity with this, when they die with quotes around it, no eyes. They go back to this kind of basic form.
Right.
And nice. This is all going on at the same time. And the Native American says the demon ghost is, or the enemy ghost is gone. And then I love this.
Yeah.
When Lucifer bites this is when it gets weird. And I love how weird it got, though. Because it was.
Yeah.
Because
he went
like
dark as fuck. He went like totally just like eek.
So love like you can hear the like lion growling when he does certain things.
There's a little
his little dude guy, whatever, is super creepy.
That's right? Creepy. You don't even know why he's there. He doesn't really start. He drags the body off.
He reminds me of the things from like the movie Ghost that would come out of the shadows and grab the souls and drag them. Yeah, and they were making that sound. They were like.
He almost reminds me of like I'm reading the Wheel of Time books right now, and he's like a Murdral or something like that.
Sorry. Well,
those little guys from that movie Phantasm from the 80s that had the
Yeah.
ball-like thing.
Oh, those little monkey guys.
Yeah.
They sucked. I hated those guys. I love that movie. Phantasm 1 and 2 are good. Don't watch anything past that, please.
Yeah. What
so
I like
he takes
about
a bite out of the heart, and he's like, "Oh."
Something happens to him here, though, where he seems like he's almost desperate to get them to come with him, and he seems
He does.
I
think it's because he made a deal.
Yeah.
Or he thinks he made a deal anyway, because he gave them something.
Right.
And now
he wants something in return.
And he's like,
they didn't necessarily agree to anything. They just listened to him. But he's like, I want you two to come home with me too.
Yeah.
Well, I love that line
because he wants.
He gets in there is I love you more than Jesus does, which contradicts, of course, what he said earlier, where God is love and I don't love you.
Yeah.
And it's so perfect and good for the character.
Right here.
Yes. And it's sped up and whispered, and I looked at, don't think it matches his mouth movements. So it's like the subtext of what he's really trying to say, trying to get into their head, and it works so good.
Yeah, it's creepy.
It is. It's creepy as fuck. This when Viggo Mortensen does this, he becomes it's interesting because it's almost like a completely different character of the Lucifer
it's completely different.
Saw.
Yeah, it's like
this is creepy, desperate, fuck all Lucifer.
And I wouldn't say desperate. I wouldn't say desperate, but just
desperate. He wants their souls.
Yeah.
Right. But he wants them to come, willingly.
But they have to agree.
Right. And that's the whole point. And that's why
Tell me you want me to take you home.
Right. Because again, he's trying to put into their head that we made a deal, which they never did.
They didn't.
This is his form of lies and the manipulation.
It almost felt like he was about ready to cry when he was talking to them about it, though. You almost feel like there's so much.
He's also wearing contacts here, which is interesting. His eyes are a different color; they're almost like an orange. And he's like, "We made a deal, Catherine. You owe me."
Right. And basically, at the end, when he leaves, it's basically like, you will join me. Maybe not today.
Yeah.
But one day.
You owe me. And then Thomas calls him back. He's like, Catherine, stop. And he looks at Thomas, and Thomas is like, and Luke, he's trying to do his thing. And Thomas actually turns the tables on what he told him earlier. He's like, I have my soul and I have my faith. What do you have? Angel. And he does a really nice delivery with those lines.
Yeah.
What do you have? Angel.
I mean, it's a great one-liner.
I love Lucifer. I love Lucifer's response. So he's like, "Keep the lights on, Thomas," which is just fucking so good. Viggo is just brilliant in this.
Yep.
One of my biggest complaints about the movie is immediately after that happens. Everything else that happens.
No, it's the
whole fucking thing. That's not Viggo Mortensen, by the way. That looks like Christopher Walken.
Right.
I think they may have had that in mind for another thing, and then they used it, but that doesn't look like Viggo Mortensen.
No.
And then he breaks into the thing, and that's fine. That's good. And that, quite honestly, is about where it should have ended. They carry on for a minute.
Yeah, the rest of
there's some
the rest of this is not necessary.
Kissing, which I don't like. And then they're out in the top of the mesa, and this carries on too long. And there's a narrative over this, which I found. My son and I watched this last night. And I'm like, the without the narrative, if you just had a visual of them doing this, and then the shaman releasing the sand, would have been fine. But
even this entire scene is unnecessary.
It is, and that's basically it. It talks about how man's faith in your believing in everything, but you believing in at least your little bit of it is maybe what makes the soul, and that's what makes us human. I didn't see a point to that. I thought it was kind of bad dialogue, and then it ends on this beautiful sunset. That's fine.
Right. But
So
yeah,
that
that's
scene
it.
with the
Overall,
birds, by the way, with the scattering to the birds, that was the
Yes.
big image for this whole movie back then when they were advertising it. The short, like of the
Mm.
angel bursting into the
Yeah,
bird.
yeah. I remember that.
as a general statement, I love the movie. There are
That was very good.
these parts that I can pick apart, which are fine, like the hairpiece, and just some of the inconsistencies, which are mildly irritating. But overall, and Matt, you pointed out a lot of things which don't become inconsistencies, but you have to watch 2 other fucking movies to realize that they're not inconsistencies. That's
Well, I would have liked. I mean, this is one thing. I mean, I don't want to see anything remade in the modern era ever, like ever. You know,
I agree.
But if they were to remake this trilogy from the beginning and change up the first film to make it, take so you know it's a trilogy going into it, so they don't have to like there was some stuff they put in here to make it a complete film, which in a normal trilogy would just left open to the next movie. You know,
they walk too far.
He took the people walking down the bluff. Remember?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I felt like the movie had some amazing performances by Christopher Walken and Viggo Mortensen and a lot of the supporting cast.
Yeah, totally, dude.
The 2 main characters just, I don't know, that's the only thing that really.
The dude who plays
You're right. It's funny. They were almost like phoned in performances.
They were phoned in, yeah.
It's like they didn't feel like, what am I doing in this movie? Why am I bothering with this?
They felt like
everybody
they were
else really fucking committed to the fucking project.
Yeah. What was it? Elias and
like yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, Elias and Virginia really got overshadowed in this film by Stoltz.
They're the weakest part of the fucking movie.
Viggo.
Even the kid.
Yeah.
Even the kid, the weird kid with the big fucking teeth, she did a pretty good job. She did better than they did.
Yep.
Elias has a couple good moments. And I can't take that away from him. Like I said, the scene with the devil when he's all fucking sloped over him, he does a beautiful job at that. And when he gives his speech about the angels, when he's talking to Catherine in the desert about would you ever really want to see an angel, he did a good job there. But most of his performance, Virginia, I didn't feel was very good, which is unfortunate. Virginia wore inappropriate clothing for most of the movie.
No, they were Roman. That was completely appropriate.
It's almost like I want to equate this to like a baseball team. I know this is as big as sports in here as a no-no, but a baseball team that really sucks. We're talking like like maybe the Athletics back in the days, yeah. But they bring in a couple of they get a couple of like really good players on their team, but they're not going to win any games. You know what I mean? But they got some of those players that you're there to watch. That's how I felt with this movie. It's like, oh, they've bookended it with some really great performances.
Like how Frank Thomas played on the White Sox for his entire career, which was a complete waste of career.
You can say that about Mike Trout as well.
Yeah. I'm thinking late 90s, early 2000s Astros.
I have to be honest with this.
But so like one of the things I really love about this film, regardless of the sequels, is it really shows that there's a plan, that the good guys are following God's plan, you know, and even Lucifer heard God's plan and was like, I could set this up because it benefits me, which is the angle at the end.
Do you think, Matt, do you think Lucifer actually knew? Do you think he knew he was playing his part in God's plan?
Yes. Well, okay. Spoilers for the sequel. Gabriel, so when they die, like their body dies, but the angels don't necessarily like
angels. It's different with angels.
Yeah. So Gabriel becomes like full powered back in hell and gets kicked out because too much for Lucifer to deal with in hell, right? And that's the second film where Gabriel is again the bad guy, the primary bad guy, right? But
that movie was bad, dude. I didn't like that movie at all.
I liked how like the faith thing where aside from Christopher Walken's performance was always awesome, but I like the faith struggle in there. How at the end the good guys had to listen to God. The whole premise of this was Gabriel wasn't listening to God. Remember that? And by listening to God, God came through for them. You know, that was and I love that part. And then, well, again, spoilers because I people want to watch it.
Yeah, if you're watching this at this point, you're just kind of full in at this point. Yeah. So I just gotta go with it.
The third film is Gabriel's redemption arc, and
yes, I love the change of the clothing.
Yeah,
during the film, is because he went from like dirty bum to his kind of immaculate garb again.
Like, even though he was human, he had started listening to God again and was motivating things the way God had set the plan in motion. And at the end, he gets rewarded for his faith, so to speak, and becomes the angel Gabriel again and does a really good thing, you know? Yeah. Because Gabriel is not the boss of the faction of angels. It's the dude they take out at the end of the third movie.
So, depending on how much patience you have, this movie is the best of the movies.
Correct.
I think.
Correct.
By a long stretch.
Yeah.
So can you watch other ones? Sure. How much endurance you have. There are more than those 3 movies, though, Matt. There are
the 4th and 5th one, which is Prophecy Uprising and Prophecy of the Forsaken. The only reason to watch them is because Carrie Werher is in them, and you just speed through when she's not in there. She's, especially back then in the 90s. I mean, I don't want to sound like a horn dog, but I think from the waist down, she's the most attractive woman I've ever seen. And like she has perfect hips. You know what I mean? Like just perfect hips. If you don't know who she is,
who is this?
Carrie Werher. If you don't know who she is, she played Maggie in Sliders, the replacement for Wade. She's done some other stuff. She did some erotica stuff too earlier than that. But she's like she's visibly the only reason to even pay attention to the movies because they completely suck otherwise. Like they're
not good.
They're like Highlander 3 bad. No, not Highlander 4 bad. They're almost
3 was fucking horrible.
No, Highlander 3. Let's look at Highlander right now.
Highlander 2 and Highlander 3. There is no good Highlander sequel. That's the problem. Is there is no good.
Well, we can kind of discuss that separately. I'm not saying any of them are good.
We should do that one time. We'll go through the Highlander fucking movies.
Yeah. Just to get back to this, like as far as I really wish because Waden he wrote basically the script for this and the plot lines for the second and third movies, and then was an executive producer guideline for them. I like the overall story. I wish they would. I don't wish they would make it. I wish if they were to remake this and were to be someone really good remaking it, not whatever. Seeing this as intended, which would probably have a much shorter first film. With all that weird wandering around that Thomas Daggett.
You can't have a movie that's an hour though, Matt.
No, but I mean,
that's the problem. You have a movie that's an hour. Otherwise, I understand you want to make a trilogy, but you got to make the pacing between all the movies work out. And I know they crammed a lot into this movie, but what would they have drawn out?
I think they took stuff out of
fight
the film.
scenes between angel fight scenes.
That's where the third one
accepted.
That's where the third movie breaks down. The fight scenes get hokey in the third movie. Even though I understand the logic of what they're saying about because angels are supposed to be warriors, there would have been a better way to depict it than what they did, But like, what was I going to say? So, like in the first film, if they were doing it as part of a trilogy, all that weird stuff with Daggett just sort of going from scene to scene, explaining stuff to the audience.
Yeah.
Here, look at my book, holding right to the camera. Look at my book of all the angel names, Oh, look, here's Uziel, and here's Gabriel happened to be on the page. No logical reason why he would be like that in that book,
Right.
And the very next scene.
Well, the one scene that one scene in the opening, Matt, where it went from Simon talking to Daggett to the crime scene with Uziel, and then the Daggett's book is in Simon's apartment. Again, that was kind of just wonky and left no explanation on the table. And Daggett never talked about it. It's like, I just had this weird fucking dude in my apartment perched on a fucking chair talking about this book. But you never get the follow-up on that as to, Daggett was talking. He obviously knew that Simon was unearthly.
Yeah.
He may not have known he was an angel, but he knew he was unearthly. And what the fuck with that, right?
Well, I think had they known they were getting a trilogy, that scene would have explored him and Simon doing stuff together more. As opposed to Daggett having to go on and do the detective part of stuff to show us the storyline with the little girl and all that. It
just was very abrupt and very strange as far as the transition.
He's a great writer for the Highlander and Prophecy movies, but this is the only movie directed and for obvious reasons, So
Highlander was just like I said, overall was a much better together.
Well, he didn't direct it. Russell Mulcahy directed that.
No, I know that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Mulcahy is the one who gave us Highlanders 2 through 19. So
not good. Not good. Yeah. There's only one Highlander film, by the way.
There can be only one.
And one Matrix.
So are we done? Is that it?
I think we're good.
I think we did.
I was trying to find information on how much it cost to make this movie, but it grossed 16 million.
It made way more than it cost.
Right.
Oh
yeah.
Which is how they got those fucking terrible sequels. God damn it.
If only.
So we had some really good performances in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Walken is just really good. And he's not even just being Christopher Walken for a lot of this. He has when he's talking about I will not be replaced by a talking monkey, and his interaction with Jerry and Rachel, we've all those are like highlights in this fucking movie for us. And Viggo Mortensen.
Mm-hmm.
Those are definitely the standout performances. Everybody else was
interesting, like biblical, like we're talking the timeline of this. Remember, so they had the book that Uziel had, the Bible from the 2nd century, right?
Yep.
So the timing is basically like after Jesus came is when the angel faction got ticked off, right?
Right.
The first mention of Gabriel is in the New Testament, even though various Christian sects will attribute Old Testament acts to him, that he's not named there. He's first named in the New Testament. And
he's the one who lets Mary know that she is carrying.
Well, he's the one who first, not just Mary, Mary's sister or sister-in-law.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Yeah, John the prophet. So the Holy Spirit, or whatever you want to say, she got pregnant with John the prophet. So Gabriel came and told them about that, and then Mary, and so it would make. Now think of how it will like this movie, like so Gabriel is he's an asshole like he's in this film, and he's like hanging out in heaven, maybe rolling dice or whatever, and God goes, "Hey Gabriel, go tell this. I just put a piece of me down here. I got to put a piece of me down here. What do you mean, God? What are you talking about? Just go tell this chick she's gonna have a baby who's a prophet, and go tell her sister-in-law that she's gonna give birth to me." And he's like, "What the fuck?" But wait, this pledge has a bunch of monkeys on it. What are we talking about here? They're not monkeys, Gabriel. What do you mean they're not monkeys? They look just like the other monkeys. They don't have tails. Only difference. I could kind of imagine that conversation with this version of Gabriel and God that's going on. And Father's like, okay, fine, I'll do whatever you want. And he goes down there and does it, and then the angels get ticked off, and the angel who sets it all in motion, who's Peruvial, he's like, "Gabe, you let him put the monkeys over on us. You just let him put the monkeys over." He's like, that's all straight off. Like I could see.
It's too bad the series wasn't done better.
Yeah,
because this movie was done very well with, some nitpick stuff, but overall it was really good. The problem is that the follow-ups are not very good. See, it's hard to appreciate all the rest of the story because the movies are so
I think
horrible.
what the sequels needed was some mutagenic mercury contamination.
I think you're right.
And then you add some
mutant
bears and mutant bears from a paper mill
bears
logging
would have saved the sequels.
Yes.
Well, so there you go. Watch the Prophecy. Don't watch the sequels unless you have a very durable temperament. And go back and watch the Prophecy with the giant mutant bear, 1979.
It's 1979. It was free on Amazon Prime, and
you got Amazon.
The lead actor, he's in all kinds of like 70s TV shows as a doctor. I've seen him on like The Love Boat, all kinds of stuff. I can't think of his name right now, but he's been in a lot of stuff. Like I said, it's better than Boba Fett, so check it out.
That's not hard. That's not hard. Was it?
You guys may find it shocking, but in the 70s or 80s, that was actually a subgenre of horror films about giant mutant bears. There are multiple other giant mutant bear films.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
and now that I know it, I don't feel better about it.
Well, I don't know that. I do actually love bears. It's not just a genre.
I know. All right, so that's it for this week, folks. The Prophecy, 1995. with Christopher Walken. Watch that movie. Avoid the sequels unless you're weird. Watch 1979 if you're into Mutant Bears. That's fine too. I want to thank everybody who was part of this tonight. Of course, our wonderful panel, and my son who is no longer here. He wandered off because he had to drink because he had to go to work. And the rest of you guys, because you guys bring so much to this. And James for wandering in from Japan, where it's like 17 o'clock in the morning because I have no idea what time it is over there, which is weird, but that's fine.
You know,
appreciate you being here.
Japanese movie, they would have been anime fighting with swords,
killing giant bears. And to the chat, you guys hung in there. And if you're watching this tomorrow or the next day, thank you. Enjoy this. It's weird. We have these conversations. That's why we do this. So we can talk about nerd shit.
The Japanese sequel was Christopher Walken fighting a giant bear with a sword.
Yeah.
Hey, Bear, I need to talk to you before I cut you in half.
And the bear has a giant cowbell.
The bear has a cowbell.
He's teasing Christopher Walken with it.
So let's go around
Take my wallet.
the bend here and talk about what we have coming up this week. Shield Wall.
All right.
What do you have coming up, buddy?
On Tuesday, I'm going to be on with Jacob Ironside, and we're going to be doing The Mummy, the OG
Yes,
Mummy.
I love that movie so much.
Am I on that one too, Shield Wall? I think.
If you asked, I think, yeah.
I'm on two. I'm on Frankenstein. I know, and I'll get to it.
Yeah. And then next Thursday, whatever we're doing next Thursday on this channel. So those are my two things.
Well,
and thanks
we'll get to that. We'll get to what we're doing next.
Yeah. And thanks everybody for being here. It's been great. And I'm not contaminated with any mercury mutagens.
Yeah, he is obviously contaminated.
That's what they all
Shield Wall
say.
is going to become a giant mutant bear. Mando, what do you have coming up?
I will be doing my Literary Souls to Saturday morning, and then be doing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, nice.
On Monday we are doing pirate themed Dungeons and Dragons, and somehow I became the captain of the ship. I still don't know how that happened. Dungeons and Dragons.
Dear God, I don't even.
I know.
It's 2023. You got it because you're a woman.
Oh no, I got it because I'm the only capable person, and Arkasul's character keeps running into doors.
What the fuck's wrong with Ark? Has he been drinking? It's really early in the morning when you guys are doing these things. No, all right, fair enough. So
and then I will be on.
You're the captain.
Somehow, yes, that's crazy. I will also be on Jacob's channel for The Mummy. Are you my mummy? And I honestly have no idea what's going on after that. So,
right on. Weird but accepted. Beard of Liberty. What do you have coming up, buddy?
Let's see here. On Saturday, 9 p.m. Central, I'll be on After the Weekend for their Weekend Harder stream. I think
so JT stuck you in.
Yeah, I've become a regular
JT's
over there for the Weekend Harder.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, and they clip everything, let me tell you. But I think we'll be joined by Tyler Redbeard, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I like that. Tyler's a good dude, yep.
We're still finalizing the topics, but tune in. It's always a good time. And then Monday, I will actually be on the regular After the Weekend stream for their review of Evolution.
Oh.
Yes,
David
I love that
Duchovny?
movie. Yes, I love that movie. Spoiler, I love that movie. And then Tuesday, I'll be on with Wookie Be Bad at 8:30 for the, let's just call it the current state of Disney Star Wars stream. But otherwise, people can follow me on Twitter/X, whatever, at Beard of Liberty, because I'm kind of a professional guest. I just show up wherever people say, hey, show up.
Right on. James Harris, the Ginger Ninja. What do you have coming up, buddy?
Oh, well, for me, thank you again for having me on. I appreciate the invite. As always, Roman, it's great. Love the way you guys go through these movies is awesome. But for me, I'm just getting ready for December. Got Okinawa Comic Con and Tokyo Comic Con coming up.
Oh, busy.
So busy. So I'm getting ready for some original merch. Hopefully, I'll get my live art streams going up again. I've been on a bit of a hiatus, just trying to get stuff organized here. But yeah, hopefully, I'll be doing some new kind of illustrations and stuff for some merch to be selling at those, and just putting out promotions for that kind of stuff. Just getting ready, doing some more oil paintings and this and that, and then see how it goes. That's basically all I got on the plate right now. Yeah. But thank you again for having me on.
You will come back to the Americas, and you
will. I'm trying to get into some cons over there. So as soon as I do,
Comic-Con San Diego next year.
There we go.
Put me down.
I'm looking at you, James. I'm looking directly at you.
The Vegas Nerdrotic Geeks and Gamers meet up.
That could be a very big.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. I am there next April because I know they're doing them April now, so I will be.
Yeah.
So you must come back. I know you hate to make the journey across the sea. You have to embed yourself with some pirates to make your journey, but
that's what we got. One Piece going on now, so maybe they can hook me up with the ride.
Right now, actually, the world may end by that point, and if it does, well, then that works itself out. So Matt. The Unbearable 73, the Thatch B. What do you have coming up, my friend?
I will be taking my unbiased base hate to the same Mummy review we're doing with Jacob and Mando there. Also, this weekend on Jacob's channel, our 5 favorite monsters. A non-spoilery teaser. One of my 5 is one of my eccentric choices.
That's the Saturday, right?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Saturday. Yep. Okay. Which will get your interest in a movie that very people know about. Two of them will do that. But anyway, what else I got going? Oh, and then in the Frankenstein review is on the 24th. So I probably see Will's on that as well.
No, I got to hit Jake up for that because I want to be on that.
Yeah. And I will be rereading Frankenstein for the first time since I was 17.
I fucking love Frankenstein. I actually own the Universal Frankenstein collection because I'm a fucking weirdo.
Also, I just posted my reviews for episode 7 and 8 of Wheel of Prime. You can hear I managed to cut my hour rant down to 7 minutes for the reaction part of it. I cut all the parts where I'm going, you stupid mother blacken, why are you doing this to this wheel?
Accepted.
I cut those down out quite a bit and just actually talk about the crap I see on screen for 7 minutes. Then I have my review of it. So 7's out. I'll get it out by the weekend. Then Wheel of Prime will be gone, and my soul will be okay until that crushing soul defeat comes in. When is it? November, Mando, or December Amazon tries to give us a stroke with Rings of Prime.
Oh, I haven't been paying attention because I wanted to make my life better.
Remember in November, you know what comes back in November, guys? Doctor Who. 60th anniversary.
And I'll probably do some commentary about those because
you're coming back. You're coming back to me. You're coming back to me.
I believe the Tenet movies will actually be good because they're going to try to lure people in.
Yeah, I think so too.
Follow up to Tenet.
That's
anyway. What else going on? Roman, I don't think I don't know anything on your show yet, Damon.
Next Thursday.
Which one is next Thursday?
Next Thursday is favorite modern horror.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that I got to put that on my calendar. I have so many things going on now.
I know.
Although Roman's definition of modern
is different than a lot of people's. I know that.
I mean, I was like, since 1970 or later, that's okay.
Best I could do.
Yeah.
Joker Force. What do you have coming up?
I have a lot coming up. So tomorrow in the morning, I will be dropping my love and appreciation video for not just the films, but the TV series and the spinoff that we saw last year of the IP, the Addams Family, which is just glorious. And then I am on tomorrow night for Friday night's Royal Rumble. Then Saturday with Jacob Ironside for his favorite in the movie Monsters. Sunday will probably be on with Wookie Be Bad for something Sunday. Monday back on Legion Talk again for Game of Thrones season 5 episode 9. Tuesday with Wookie Be Bad and Beard for the death of Disney, for the death of Star Wars and the life, the zombie walking corpse that is Disney Star Wars. And then Thursday back here with you guys for favorite modern horror film. And then next Friday again back. It's going to be a long week.
You're a busy man. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Well, I'm not married. And I don't have kids, so I've got some time.
Fair enough. So next Thursday over here on Roman of the Empire, we'll be looking at our favorite modern horror films. That's 1970 forward. And we've got a nice lineup of guests coming on as well.
53 years, that's modern.
That's modern. That's the best modern I could do. If you go before that, it's classic. So I have to separate. I'm separating. So nothing black and white, basically, is my line. Okay. But it'll be fun. It'll be a hoot. This was a favorite last year. Everybody enjoyed it, and we're gonna kind of revisit it this year because everybody gets different ideas every year that comes around. So we're gonna roll into that. And thanks for hanging out for this one for the prophecy. Like I said, this wasn't a movie that a lot of people knew. So that's one of the things. It was in the theaters. No one saw it. It became a cult classic. And then people like us watched it and like, wow, that's a good movie. Matt?
How do we go a whole video without mentioning the third most awesome thing Christopher Walken ever did? Fatboy Slim, Weapon of Choice. Go watch that music video.
Fatboy Slim.
Weapon of Choice. Go watch that music video, people.
He dances in it.
And then after that, go watch the new Taylor Swift video.
Don't do that. Never watch Taylor Swift anywhere ever on your interweb. So,
well, you can watch it with the sound down.
Sweet mother of God. So, thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate you guys spending your time with us this Thursday evening. And until next time, be kind.
Doodles!